Is this it?
This is it!
We've been holding power you make for 30 years. But here's the real question. How much torque are you making? Because every single ACT clutch is rated by the torque produced at the crank. That's all your clutch cares about. Your power, your performance, your success. Unrivaled precision, power, and durability. Visit advancedclutch.com today. 30 years of precision engineering and performance excellence. Because every revolution starts at the crank.
Need a little help? We got help. Need some advice? We got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
These are my race treads for when the road ends.
These are my race treads for shredding the slopes.
These are my race treads for setting the hook.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
Look at this, it's a sold-out crowd. Welcome to the streets of Long Beach. Make some noise for the Drip Nation. This is a year to watch. Troy at the most talented drifters in the world.
He's exploding towards his first outside zone.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Yo, Ryan Tuerck wants it. It could be anybody that could win here in Long Beach. Explode that back bumper. Send it, here we go. Laser vision on the prize. Your winner, James the Machine Deane.
I have no words for how much this means to me.
That's a hard act to follow. Wow. Wow, look at this. Good morning, everybody, and good, happy TGIFD. It's Saturday, but Formula Drift is back. That's right, we had a line going all the way up to Ocean Avenue, round 1 of 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. And the big question is, are you ready? Not only for this round, but later today, we'll find out where round 8 is. It's in Southern California. That's guaranteed. Where it's at is TBD, and you'll find out today. I'm Jared Deanda. Joining me is the Blue Beanie, the Teal Tube, the Smoke and Brisket, Diesel Destroyer, all of it, Mr. Jacob Gettens. Jacob, what a beautiful day. Blue skies, little bit of breeze, got a little windier yesterday afternoon. We had seating brackets yesterday. Pre-seated drivers are joining the conversation today, but the making of a great event.
Yeah, the weather could not be better. I'm super pumped for this. A little bit of, flashback from last year, you and I having to batten down the hatches, turn our backs to the wind when the wind picked up yesterday, but this is great. A little bit of a breeze, blow the smoke out. Temperatures are good, they're consistent. It means that the drivers can set the cars up and hopefully everything stays the same. But once we get into the finals, once the sun starts to come down a little bit, things change. Cars get faster, tires get grippier, and then everything you thought you knew about how this track was going to perform kind of goes out the window. And now it's a whole new race, and that's what I really, really like about this layout.
Such a cool event. We have some special guests here. I saw my boy Miles Parrish, Bucky Lassik's in the building. Sung Kang is here. Shh, be careful.
Heard, yeah.
And also another lovable human being. I love her. You know her. Jacob, do you like her?
Big fan.
Big fan. I'm a huge fan. Mrs. Lorette Nichols in the building with Odie Bakshis. Lorette, down to you, homegirl.
Jared, you're an absolute nut. Love you guys. So excited to be here. Odie, one of the things that I observed at Media Day on Tuesday, that there was a quiet confidence that you embodied. And then we get to the day that counts, and you're dealing with a lot of electrical gremlins. Can you walk us through some of the issues that you're dealing with here in Long Beach?
Yeah, firstly, you know, the team and I feel so diligent going into the season. We've got 3 test days under our belt, and then a really successful media day. So I think we were doing everything right, but sometimes things just don't go your way. And we had that happen last practice session of the whole, you know, competition day, and it haunted us through today until we finally figured it out. But that's how it goes sometimes. And yeah, that kind of crushes your momentum going in, right? But I think we got everything resolved, so I'm very optimistic now, and kind of falling right back into that groove that I was in before this happened, because man, the car was on rails during practice.
Yeah, and I feel like pressure makes diamonds, and if anyone can function in that space, it's definitely you.
Everything happens for a reason. Maybe I needed that little dose of anxiety, because to be honest, practice was going really smooth, and you know, sometimes you're like, okay, what are we doing wrong that we're not putting ourselves in a predicament where we're a little stressed out?
Okay. Well, here last year, Odie finished 3rd, so definitely looking to make the step up. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Guys.
Dude, chill.
I know, right?
He is like the water out here, minimal wind. Like, you know, we're staying right over here at the Hyatt. I looked out my window and the glass.
Yeah.
I wanted to be pulled behind a boat. Odie Bakshis finished 2nd last season. A gentleman that has his 2nd season, his sophomore season. Ben Hobson, beautiful, drove really well. But you know who bested him and our seeding bracket winner? Daniel Stuke. Reason being, Hobson missed that outside zone 3. Stuke put the car where it needed to be, but look out. Sophomore season seems to work for these Ford Mustangs. Think about it. James Deane comes back. 2023, not so well. Not James Deane-esque, as Sage would put it. 2024 comes back. But Daniel Stuke, back to seeding brackets. What a great show.
Yeah, Daniel Stuke took home the win in seeding bracket due to consistency. He drove exactly how he needed to. I would say like 80% the entire time. Didn't do anything crazy, let everybody else make the mistakes behind him. Really, that's how you get through in pro spec. That's how you make your way up. That will only carry you so far, though. You need to get aggressive. You need to start like really pushing all the zones. And if Stuke wants to continue on, he's going to have to get to that level of aggression to keep going through these battles. And you can see this is our top 32. These are our battles. And there's a lot of really, really good pairings in here that I'm really pumped for. One of them that might kind of go over people's head is going to be like a Chris Forsberg, Dan Burkett. Dan Burkett really, really coming back up. Chris Forsberg got a little bit more to prove. That's one I'm looking forward to, as well as Adam LZ and Tommy Lemaire. Adam LZ in that BMW had a couple of incidents on media day. Tommy Lemaire in somebody else's car, but BMW on BMW now, because Tommy's borrowing Rome's car. That one I'm excited for. Any standout to you, Jared?
Welcome to Formula Drift, Jack Shanahan. You know, love to see him. The prospect guys, as you said, jumping up. You know, Austin, Matta, like what's he gonna do? Sullivan, Osole, we know what he's capable of. But of course, James the Machine Deane. He knows what he can do. He's won here. He saw fire. He saw rain. He saw for the first ever 4-time Formula Drift Championship. And guess what? We caught up with them earlier today talking about he loves this course. Yeah. This is his favorite course. That is a dangerous recipe, even for TJ Hunt. But how is James Deane going to do? We'll go to him. And we are seeing James Deane come on out swinging.
Mentally, it didn't change that much. The car is pretty much the same, just more refined. Obviously, this new chrome blue AutoZone Tensile livery, which I absolutely love.
Look at this. This thing caught fire so quick because it exposed the nitrous line.
We also repainted the engine bay after the last year's fire in Long Beach. So, looking fresh again, and hopefully we'll never have look like that again.
James Deane gets the win!
We have to remind ourselves why did we fall in love with drifting? Why did we want to chase this dream? And It was, because it looked so fun from the outside, and when you're at the top level, all of us drivers take it very seriously. I just want to enjoy it. I want to drive for the fans. I want to, you know, enjoy as many laps as I can, and hopefully have some good results along the way.
The essence of drifting is head-to-head, right?
Yeah.
And we've made adaptations or variations, you know, from judging over the years and all these things. But a big advancement this year, I would say advancement, because no longer is it you pull the line, you get points. Also, a win isn't 100 points. We structured it where it's going to make it much more competitive. You have to win to get the points. Break down how drivers score points in 2025, Jacob.
Essentially, you win the battle, you're taking home the points. So if you're in seeding, you can win 3 points per battle that you win. So Daniel Stuke, he took home 12 points for winning those battles. When you're in the top 32, every battle that you win is worth 10 points. So as you said, just because you're in a placement doesn't mean you get those points anymore. You actually have to battle for it to move on and to get those. We ran some simulations of what last year would have looked like with this system. It does change up a couple of things. It very much rewards drivers who are able to push through and get through the battles, and it rewards drivers who do get knocked back into seeding, who battle their way through. Dmitry Brutzky, I believe, would have moved up like 6 or 8 places just based on this new rule set. So it allows drivers who get into seeding to have a fighting chance to be still in the championship, and there's a little bit of a bonus for them in that regard.
Talking about bonus, place your bets, kids. NXTbets.com, top picks, the odds. You can see that 260. I mean, look, odds-on favorite, obviously James Deane, but place your bets. Aasbo finishes second in the season last year. Bakshi's finished second in the season. Aasbo finished third. I think Odie has a real fighting chance if he keeps that composure, and then, as you say, you know, he does have that mechanical sympathy. That's a term that you utilize a lot. If he has that, I think he could really be a champion that we know he could be. And there it is. You can bet on the heat picks. So Beechum versus RCP, Forsberg versus Burkett. You got Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah versus Castro. And then you have that of Gushi versus Noback. So you can see the odds. Go ahead. If you're watching, tune in, place your bets. Place your bets in this corner. Ding, ding, Beechum versus RCP. We'll see how it all shapes out. I'm really excited. Jacob, it's great to be back here. The silly season, as we call it in motorsports, is where everything kind of falls where it may. But, you know, thank you to Ryan Sage. Everything that he's done in the offseason, going to give him his flowers right now. He smells great. He looks great. He feels great. Ryan Sage, president and co-founder of Formula Drift. We'll get to our judges in a minute. But let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel once again. Lorette, what's cooking?
Well, during practice, we saw Dmitry Brutzky unfortunately go into the wall and talk to us about the damage that your car sustained.
We got a lot of damage in the front and some in the rear. Boys are working hard over here. We're almost done. Hopefully we're going to make it, and we'll go back out there and drive. So we got all the spares, and we got, you know, a manpower here from, ironically, both cars' collision center supporting us at this round, so we're keeping them busy. We had a couple more wall contact in practice yesterday, and every time they got us back on track, so I'm feeling confident.
Okay.
We'll be back out.
And is your thumb injured?
Just a little cut. It's okay. Bleeding a little bit.
You're okay, though. All right, Dmitry, we're crossing our fingers for you. He's a couple of battles, so hopefully he doesn't have to use that competition time out. But again, we're crossing our fingers.
Almost putting the tires back on, checking the alignment, then we're good to go.
Okay, thanks, Dmitry. Jared.
You could feel the composure. You know, obviously he picked up a title sponsor here. Talk about the bold collision centers. Might want to utilize that. I'm not joking here, but you always feel for somebody when it's like, because it's so crazy. We have this silly season, and then let's throw you into the least forgiving track whatsoever, the black and the white. Talking about the black asphalt, the white walls. There is no gray. Speaking of black and white, these gentlemen there is no gray. They are scrutinizing the runs, representing Japan, Robbie Bushido, Blade Nishida, representing the United States, RVA, Richmond, Virginia, Brian Eggert, and last but definitely least, Columbia, East Coast zone, Reese. I don't know, what do we call him? Reese, the marinating marin. He's like sweet meat. You throw him on the grill, he's ready to cook.
All right, I'll take it. I was going to say Reese Pieces, but I don't think he'd like that. He'd probably fight me.
Sweet meat sticks marin. There we go.
Done.
Brian Easter Eggert. There we go. So the streets of Long Beach, you can see the Mustangs unleashed over there across the pond or across the track. let's break down this track. It's straightforward. We talked about it. The walls do not move. They always win.
Yeah, so come out of the gate. You do have that decel area as you're initiating the car. We've got our 3-2-1 cones. You're going to push the car out to outside zone 1 and a nice smooth transition into 2, which should then carry you around into outside zone 3. The judges want a nice wide line, and then kind of pointing the car at the touch and go, transitioning at the wall. Then you can slow down before the inside clip. So big thing they're looking for, nice and smooth, nice and flowy. You can see how the track marks are laid out right now. You can see where that line is. And really, the judges kind of want it on the outside of all of those paths. They want you touching the walls, but not crumpling in the back end. And yeah, it's very much a who can provide the best lead right now, who can open up the door and allow for a great chase. And that leads me into the keys of victory. So yeah, stay off the rumble strips in turn 9. Turn 9 for the non-road course people.
The traditional IndyCar
yes,
track.
That is the initiation point. You don't want to put your front wheels on that because it will push you wide. You want to fill all the zones, but don't actually hit the walls. Just graze the bumper, paint it, don't destroy it. And then don't beeline to the inside clip. So after that touch and go, it should be a smooth arc in and around. Anytime you're doing a straight line, anytime it's a hard angle, a triangle, and instead of a curve, you're not doing the right thing, you're not in the right spot, and you've done something wrong. And yeah. I'm
going to have you reiterate what Brian said yesterday in the drivers' meeting. I thought that really encapsulated the emotion, the feel, and the expectations about a 100-point and the lead run as compared to the chase.
Yeah, so one of the big focuses this year, and there's been a few rule changes about this with left foot braking and car settling, is that they want you, as always, providing a 100-point lead run. And the benefit of that is that the chase driver could then, even if they have a perfect chase, could only get 99 points. There was always this mentality of, if I provide this amazing thing for them to chase, that they're going to do better than me. No, they're not. That's not how this works. You're going to have a really good chase, but you're still not as good as the lead driver that's in front. So the goal today and for the rest of the year, leave the door open, allow a really good chase, and you will get the benefit as the lead driver in doing so.
Just bring clarity to that. Leaving the door open doesn't necessarily, it's giving them the platform to have a good chase. If you put down a heater, a banger lead run, that's an opportunity or a jumping point for that chase car. When I think door open, just to clarify, it's like you're off the wall, that you're going for a pass. The door open, so just some of the language I get a little nervous about, so just clarifying that. So have that good lead run. All right, well, talk about new feeling, new vibe. How about a new set of wheels? Fredric Aasbo, the Norwegian Hammer, the chiseled jawline, the chiseled wheels, great looking Supra. Had a great night with him at Type S Nightlights. That was bonkers. But speaking of bonkers, Freddie, how we doing? Welcome to the Formula Drift Championship. The streets of Long Beach is ours. That's right.
I think the first round of the year is really all about getting back to the groove and hopefully coming out swinging. I'm looking forward to putting the new tires to the test. The Kendas are really looking good and feeling good. But of course, we want to know how to really set the car up before we put them through their paces in competition.
You'll see us on the top of the podium.
The vibe within the team is probably better than it's ever been. We're here to have fun, and we're trying to not pressure ourselves too much. And I typically tend to do better when I'm able to reduce some of that pressure.
This is round 1 of 8.
Long Beach is very special because it's the first round of the year. It's a beautiful course with that stadium feel. It's very much a video game feel. This is the holy grail of drifting, and for that to be the season opener, it's awesome for the show.
Let's get it started. That's right, we're feeling the wave, the heat wave, baby. Ryan Litteral representing the 909. He is working until the morning hour. And guess what, Ryan? You got a big ask against James the Machine Deane. But you know what? If anybody's going to do it, Ryan Litteral. He's got good vibes. I got an opportunity to hang out with him. Little nightlife out there in Riverside, the IE, the Inland Empire, and that's what he's repping with that 909 number. And he's feeling really calm. He's in a good place. He's liking the Sunoco. He's liking the livery. He's loving the goods. He is flying an RB flag. He loves it. He's dying on the cross of that RB, and he loves it. But he's going against James Deane. He's got the bubble window. He's feeling the flow. James Machine Deane, your defending Formula Drift champion, throws it into that first outside zone. Touch that one. I said, just kissing it. James Deane, look at Ryan Litteral. He is right there, tucked in. He knows. Talking about that 100-point run. That's what James Deane. Oh, a straight need a correction. Was there contact? We will run it back. That was very unlike James Deane. So we'll take a look at that. going from the outside zone 3 into that inside clip. That was very interesting. So was there contact, Jacob?
Yeah, we're going to see it here in a second. But James Deane out front looking really good. This is what we talked about with allowing for a really good chase to happen behind you. James Deane spends a lot of time with the car at angle, very, very stable. And this is the point we want to look for. It does look like Ryan Litteral did impede the transition of James Deane there, which really sucks because Litteral was on it. He was in there. He was right inside, you know, the pocket, as we call it, that kind of space behind the front wheel. That's where we want the driver to be. And look at Ryan Litteral. Great dive there to get into the pocket for outside zone 3 and just holding it really steady and just doesn't get back in time. That's all it is. And we're talking like a 1/10 of a second to touch the brakes, pull the car back, let the car transition. It's so tough.
You got to think he knows what to do, right?
Yeah.
And he knows who he's going against. And that is a 100% trust fall. You know, you cross your arms, you're like, James, catch me. Again, he's a champion. He is a weapon. He is so comfortable in this car. When he came out on Media Day on Tuesday, he didn't even skip a beat. I mean, this dude, James, is driving more than anybody else, I feel like. Again, if we talk seat time, I think he's top.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Ryan Little's out front. That contact, he disrupted James Deane. He was in that hot pocket. Got a little burn, though. Here we go. They let it cool. Ryan Little gets out. Oh, he taps it. Using all the course. James Deane, unfortunately, he didn't get to that second outside zone. There goes James Deane. Now he's in the pocket. That's alternate position. Litteral goes for it on that inside clip. Really good execution. What a way to start Formula Drift 2025 season. This is just a sweet morsel of what we're going to expect this season. This very well could be, I'm going to go on record, this very well could be the most competitive Formula Drift season we've ever seen, given the driving, the cars, the progression, all of it, and it begins here.
Yeah, this is incredible. I mean, flowers to Ryan Litteral in that lead. Like, everything looks really good, and same thing allows James Deane to have a good chase. James actually made a bit of a flub there, coming into 1 into 2, a little bit shallow, and then he gets back in, but you can see him kind of hunting back and forth to really find his spot, but gets things checked up here and does a really good job. Ryan Litteral, I mean, at a bit of a disadvantage impeding that, but Ryan Litteral is back. Like, this says to me, once he got all the mechanical gremlins out of the way, once he got things dialed, this is the type of driving that we saw from him when he went through Pro 2 and really made a big name for himself. It was this type of driving, very stable, very fluid and flowy, and I'm really happy to see that in the way he's driving. It sucks to have that small incident, because if it wasn't for that, this is a pretty tight battle. I do think that's going to be the difference maker, unless there's something that the judges are seeing that we've missed.
And we're going to get some insight from them. It looks like we have a verdict. Slide him left for James Deane, right for Ryan Litteral. And I think that small little hiccup and that error of Litteral, James Deane gets the win and advances on. Would love to talk to one of the judges and elaborate here. Let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel, and we'll come back up to the judges. Lorette?
Well, Tommy Lemaire and I were watching on the broadcast, and you are here Long Beach rookie season, but you're jumping into a brand new car borrowed from Rome. How do you adjust to this track so quickly?
Honestly, just go with the flow. This car is not what I'm used to. It's not a V8, it's a turbo, so I just have to be more aggressive and respect the car too. It's a borrowed car. Thanks to Rome, Charpentier for letting me use it, so I'm just trying to respect the car and respect the track.
Best of luck. Those walls come up quick, and he's going to do his best.
Thank you, Lorette. All right, let's go to the judges. Robbie Nishida, breakdown. Was it the mistake that Litteral made with the contact?
Yeah, that was a major part of it as well, but looks like he had a lot of aggression, and it was great, but he had too much aggression where his angle was lacking in the chase position. He chose proximity over angle, but we want the chase car to be angled up a little bit more with the lead car as well, but overall it was great. That was a few mistakes that he made, but it was a great run by both of the drivers.
Appreciate it, Robbie. Thanks for the insight there. As that is Trenton Beechum going in front of the judges' wall. The judges stand. The judges, for reference, so he is calling a competition timeout, brought to you by Fast Orange. Fast Orange, the official Formula Drift hand cleaner. So the judges are basically, you can see the blue and white tent. Well, when you go high and wide, that's where the judges are. They're looking down the chute. So when the cars come into view, yes, we have cameras, we have angles, but with a naked eye, they come into view shooting left to right into that first outside zone, and then they swing right in front of the judges on outside zone 3, touch and go, and then that final inside clip. Beechum, I talked to him at the driver's meeting the other day. full refresh, tear it down, tore down the chassis, engine. He's feeling good. LS BMW. You wonder what happened. But let's take a look here at James Deane. They're talking about, proximity as opposed to angle.
Yeah.
Walk us through it, Jacob.
You can see it here. So we're going to be watching Ryan Litteral in the chase there. So you can see the proximity that he's gaining, but he's not on the same angle that James Deane is. Now, it's tough. It's really tough to be able to kind of keep up with those RTRs, but that is what the judges are looking for. They want you to mirror more than they want that proximity. They want you to look the same. If you're half a car back, more or less, that's going to be generally better than if you're right on his door, but you've taken, 20 degrees of angle out of the car. So, get the mirroring down, even if you're back just a touch. That is going to be better than just being on their door, but, way shallower on angle. They don't want you, stabbing into the side of the door.
All right, here we go. Shanahan and Madison. Connor Shanahan, his sophomore season in Formula Drift, a champion across the pond, a rookie last year in Formula Drift competition in the States, doing double duty. New car, looks great. He says it feels great. The track, I was talking with him and Brandon Sorenson yesterday. They said the track is changing. Now what's great about it is, what's bad and good about it is this morning, cold.
Yeah.
The cars were gripping up. Going to outside zone 1. I was talking to some other drivers, say it grips up, but now it's risen to temp.
Yeah.
So this is where ideally it's going to stay a majority of the day because we finished before the sun sets. Here we go. Shanahan and D-Mats, Derek Madison. Shanahan in that Red Bull 86 going across. Derek Madison, he grips up and goes that first outside zone. Shanahan does get out there. Madison comes up a bit short. Shanahan puts the car right where it needs to be. The Irish pilot is navigating it properly. Derek Madison having a little bit of trouble there. He grips up and shoots in on the inside. You can see him fighting the wheel. He counters and wraps around the inside clip. Talking to his spotter, he had something that was, I think it was like, valve was staying open.
Yeah.
So basically, the car previous to today, not the same car. So he has to relearn, get comfortable, get his binky, and just get comfortable with it. Get his blanket, right? His safety blanket.
So let's see here. The biggest thing we want to look for is, with that kind of wonky chase we saw from Derek Madison, did Connor Shanahan do anything to affect the chase back there? You see a little bit of a left foot brake as he goes into 3 and a bit of a correction, but Derek Madison did have to take some time to catch up. Then through this transition, everything looks pretty good, but Connor Shanahan decelled in the correct spot, held everything fluidly, and was able to run the line correctly, at least from what I'm seeing right here. You can see Derek kind of fighting back and forth through the wheel. Talked a little bit about those white gloves, the truth gloves, coming out yesterday. But it looked like everything from the lead side of things was all good to go as we see the hood being buttoned up. I didn't see what they were working on. It looked like even...
I saw like a wrench go to, it looked like just a cone filter.
Could have been, yeah.
It was just something as minuscule as that, and that's why I would say it's not the $5,000 part, it's a 50-cent part.
Well,
You're
even
like,
Derek Madison's like that little valve, I was looking at it last night, it's like a $15 part.
So silly.
But yeah, it would cause him to essentially all boom as soon as he came off.
Right. All right, here we go. Now D-Mat's out front. So the confidence is going to be higher, I believe, out front because, he has Connor's rearview mirrors, but he's got to run his own game, run the 100-point line. He does get out there. There he goes, under the bridge, comes up a bit short. Not allowing Shanahan to really get close to him. Now navigating through, Shanahan living in the shadows, lurking in the shadows. Ooh, straightens out a little bit, but does that offset where D-Mads wasn't essentially on that first run? So lead versus lead, chase versus chase, overall dynamicism, little fist pump there from D-Mads. Don't know if that was like, yo, I brought it, where you at? We'll see.
I think he's just happy to be out here and driving at the caliber that he knows he can be, although there's some improvement that needs to be made here from Derek Madison. Good to see. Really good job going into the first outside zone. Second outside zone, you can hear it and see it with the smoke. He's on and off throttle. He's having to kind of hunt with the car to be able to get to where he needs to go. Diesel's a little bit early too, just before that touch and go, and then grips up and kind of floats out. So the lead wasn't super smooth, and smooth is really what we're looking for, and what allows for a good chase is a smooth run. Makes it predictable, makes it easy to follow, and Derek, you can hear it, you can see it with the smoke, on and off throttle between 2 and 3, and that's such a vital part when it comes to this track. If you hold 3 for a long time, it sets you up really well for that touch and go. If you cut it a bit short, you're going to beeline, and the rest of the run's going to be thrown out. So the two main parts of this track are going to be initiation and outside zone 3.
All right, slide him left for Connor Shanahan, right for Derek Madison, and Connor Shanahan gets the win on the debut of the car. D-Mads, he survived Long Beach, getting the car right. We'll see him in Atlanta. Like you said, happy to be out here, caliber, where the car's at. Last season, his debut in Formula Drift Pro Championship, making the jump from prospect to pro. Got the car dialed halfway, or got the car debuted halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Worked it out. Here it is, the entirety of the season. Expect big things from Derek Madison, St. Louis's own, the pride of St. Louis. Here we go, moving on to our next battle. This is a gentleman that called that competition timeout, Trenton Beechum. He is going against RCP, who's feel like he's loaning his cars out to everybody, man. I mean, hey, Jacob, are you driving now?
I mean, I'm sure if I asked him, like, hey, I need to ride back to the hotel.
You got to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll work something out. But no, I mean,
you're gonna pay him in likes.
Yeah, I'll just exposure bucks, as they say. I mean, Rome's a true competitor and just a truly nice human being.
Yeah.
He wants to see everybody compete, and he'll do anything he can to make sure that everyone can compete. You know, obviously helping out the Shanahans for 2 years in a row now, and now helping out Tommy Lemaire. It's like, hey, new to the series, drive my car.
Yeah, a little town bike there. So Connor obviously campaigned his vehicle last year, and then Jack Shanahan.
Yeah.
You know, everybody gets a ride. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
All right, and what do you make of this car? This one series here. This car. You know, we saw Magmumi. You know, kind of fight the car. We'll see if it's dialed now. Here we go. Trent Beechum out front. He assigns that front bumper, and ideally the car's running up to snuff. That ESR BMW gets all the way out there. And look at that car. Oh, RCP shuts it down. That was, again, Rome. Oh, man, Rome. This is what I was just talking about. Fighting this one series.
Yeah.
The car is just gripping up. It's not tank slapping. It is just gripping. So you got to wonder what is going on with RCP in the chase position. I'd have to assume he's got to call a comp timeout to see what's cooking.
Yeah, something seemed really strange, like he was missing the vast majority of his horsepower there. The initiation from Beechum was a little wonky. So at first I was like, okay, Rome saw how weird it was, maybe thought, okay, something's going on there, I'm not going to be able to go, but we're seeing Rome flipping around now. That says to me there is some sort of mechanical going on. Let's take a look here. Beechum gets into initiation, big e-brake, on throttle, another almost re-initiation. He doesn't, it's not like he zeroed out or incompleted, but the car did settle. And this is a new rule that has more or less come in that essentially, it's something actually that Reese has really championed. If the car settles out, if it looks like, it might still be going sideways, but you're not actively drifting anymore, the weight has come off of it, that could be an incomplete. So there is a comp timeout coming out for Rome right now, but there might be something going on with Beechum in that run as well.
Yeah, Beechum. So as we are hearing, it is a competition timeout. Sun's out, guns out for Ben Hobson. Hey, Lorette, tell Ben to put away those guns. I don't know how he got past security with those guns out. Holy cow. Down to you, Lorette.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll hear you. James Deane, congratulations on the first win of the season. Man, those walls come at you quick, don't they?
Come at you super quick. That was a great battle with Ryan. He was obviously pushing really hard, very aggressive, chasing us in our lead. I was very, very happy with our lead. All the right areas, really smooth and felt great. And yeah, Ryan pushed a little bit too hard going into the last corner, so it was a bit tricky, but we kept it together in the chase run, and so happy and relieved to be through our first top 32 of the season, first battle of the season. It feels like it's even more nerve-wracking with all the new rules. Like if you get knocked out in top 32, you have 0 points for the championship, all this kind of stuff. So I was like, whew, happy to be by that one.
Lots going on here at this Long Beach track.
How long is Long Beach?
It's a great question.
Many miles.
Yes,
many miles.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, oh, he's icing. He's staying cool. Is he okay, or is he just hot?
I mean, he's a good-looking man.
He is a peak performance right there.
That is what peak male performance looks like.
Exactly. Dylan Hughes, look at that, built for speed. He's getting bucked up. That royal purple BMW. Dmitry Brutzky, he was thrashing on his car. And fortunately, he's got that sponsor there, his title sponsor. It is a collision center, so it's great to see him being supported by Bold Cars Collision. Check out refund code with Dimitri, his first name. There we go. Dylan Hughes, the dozer. He's going to be trying to plow his way into the 16, and Dimitri looks like. So you got to think, the car, they're thrashing to get it together. Was it aligned? Is it straight? Is it good? Where is it at? Was there contact there? We'll run it back and take a look. But Dmitry Brutzky in that BMW. Didn't look like Dylan impeded. looked like he was initiating. What are your thoughts there as the White Forge stars go round?
Yeah, it looked, from the first shot, it looked like Brutzky was just coming in with a lot of pace and overshot it. So let's see here. Dylan looks good. So what the judges are going to be looking at now is, should Dylan have been back on power? Was he at the point where he should be pushing the car forward? And that's what Dimitri was looking for. So let's take a look. We're going to have our 3-2-1 cone. 3, 2, 1, and then he is on throttle. So it does look like Dylan was on throttle, and Dimitri just kind of got a little overzealous, really wanted to keep the tandem tight. The other part too is, like, they're going to align that car for sure on Dimitri's side. There's going to be more damage outside of that. I don't know if maybe the side bite has been dialed in and the car is now just traveling sideways faster than what he was expecting. But yeah, from my perspective, it did look like Dylan was on throttle, so I'm leaning more towards Dimitri being at fault.
Yeah, and I don't want to say, you take those things in consideration. Dimitri, had the accident, getting the car right, all that. But speaking of the heat, go down to Lorette. We saw that bag of ice. Is Ben okay? What's going on?
Shirt's on.
He's good. He's good. He said it's nothing to worry about. But speaking of the heat, Ben Hobson is bringing it back for this 2025 season. Yeah. And Ben, there is that mojo back finally. What have you done differently?
Just told myself I belong here. I belong in the seat that I'm at, and change my mindset from last year of the negativity and filter out all the negative and bring in all positive and, just go have fun, do what I do what I love.
Incredible. And congratulations on your recent engagement.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We're going to see him the last battle of top 32.
Awesome. Thank you, Lorette. There it is. I didn't think negative was in his vocabulary, to be quite honest. So we're just getting started. Don't go anywhere. Round one, the streets of Long Beach, baby. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue with more Formula Drift action.
Get out there and have fun. Because you've got Maguire's. And we've got your back. From wash, to paint care, to maintenance and more, Maguire's has your hybrid ceramic solution for every adventure. Maguire's, reflect your passion.
Link ECU, let's get it.
We got the spiciest K-Series built.
Supercharged Ford Eliminator engine.
Oh, good old SR20. Blink Monsoon is so rowdy.
Naturally aspirated, 1,000 horsepower, LS-based engine. And then we're going to add nitrous on top of it.
Running an S54 controlled by Link ECU. Link direct injection EcoBoost Fox body.
I actually put an FA20 core in it.
B58, E46, Link ECU.
No matter what engine you have, it's stock K24 or it's a 1,000 wheel 2J. Link ECU all day.
Who the hell can stop me?
There's no better way to test your tires than on the racetrack. That's why at Kenda Tires, we compete with the same tires we sell. And that's how the technology built into every Vesda UHP Max Plus tire goes from podium to pavement. Whether you're a professional driver chasing podiums or a grassroots enthusiast looking for weekend excitement, Kenda Tires are designed for your journey.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Toyota, let's go places. GT Radio, experience the performance. Rockstar Energy, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. Kumho Tire.
What's up, guys? Ben Hobson here, driver of the Ford Mustang Pennzoil RTR Spec 5 FD, and we're here at Long Beach, round 1, baby. We back. It's a whole new year, whole new me, and we ready to rock, baby. We're gonna talk about outside zone 1. It's gonna be the most crucial clip of this track because if you are shallow here, it puts you weirdly there, and if you're too deep here, it puts you too shallow there, and if you don't make this transition from 1 to 2 correctly, it messes up your line for 3, and if you mess up your line for 3, you're not getting to the touch and go and inner clip after that. So this corner right here is the most important on this track, but once you do a nice, smooth, clean initiation right on the wall, puts you right into 2, puts you out to 3, and then you're on to touch and go and inner clip 1. My name is Ben Hobson, and this has been the BC Racing Clip Tip.
Some great insight there. Talks about no negativity in his vibe, and I got to think he's feeling it, man. If he said getting rid of the negativity vibes from last year, I don't know what kind of cup he's filling up, but I'll tell you what, he's a weapon. Yesterday, this is what I said at the start of the show, is the sophomore season for the Mustangs. You know, James Deane, he went back to back to back pre-COVID, comes back, he drives the Mustang. Sophomore season, 24 is when he really peaked. Adam LZ, sophomore season. Here we are, sophomore season for Ben Hobson. Really looking forward to that RTR and that combo there, that recipe. RCP, Rome Charpentier, and Trenton Beechum. So we had RCP call that comp timeout. He had issues in the chase position. Beechum wasn't the cleanest, but RCP, he gripped up and slipped up in that chase. Now he's out front.
Yeah, RCP got a note in here. Apparently his intercooler has cracked, so he's getting no boost. So they just said they're going to crank the nitrous and send it. So those are the words. Those are the words that I got. We're going to crank the nitrous and send it. So
I feel like this is Aerosmith needs to play right now in the planet, you know, like Armageddon. Here we go, the garage stick BMW. Okay, all nitrous, no brakes, baby. Look at RCP going for it. Hey, we don't need no stinking intercooler. He throws it down. Trent Beechum, he's waiting in the wings. A correction there from Beechum. He straightens out. Beechum straightens out. He brings it around that final clip. But again, lead versus lead, chase versus chase. What's going on here? The fans are out. Literally, it's fans on fans. I heard you like fans. Let's take a look, Rod Chong, as we can see, pulling over to the side. Dude, we don't need no stinking intercoolers. Just all nitrous, no brakes.
I mean, yeah, it's horsepower in a bottle, man. Like, there's definitely a benefit to having multiple power adders, that when one goes out, you just crank the other one. But, I mean, it's a bold move, Cotton, as they say. So let's see.
You can dodge a BMW. You can dodge a ball.
Yeah, I mean, Rome looks really good. There's a couple of clutch kicks that he had to do to get in there. But right here in the transition, Beechum just loses it. And it looks like he's lost power or had some sort of drivetrain issue because he essentially shuts it down. So I think what they're going to look at right now is going to be whatever they made of the lead at that point, because that's what we got left. So both leads at this point look pretty comparable. I'm just trying to look for any of those differences. I mean, I would almost say Rome's touch and go looked a little bit better. Outside of that, things are fairly comparable, and that's, I know we talk about the lead versus lead, chase versus chase. I mean, a lot of it's going to be the culmination of your runs, but when both chase drivers get a 0 because of what seems to be mechanical faults, all that's left to talk about is going to be those leads. And looking at those, I mean, pretty tight margin between them. One spot where I did see that Rome's touch and go was a little bit better, but Beechum did do a slightly better job on outside zone 1 and 2, probably because he had horsepower, whereas Rome was fighting to get anything he could.
Riddle me this. Do you think that Trent would just unanimously get the win if he didn't straighten out on that last clip?
More than likely, yeah, because he was able to complete the chase. So if when we're adding everything together.
That's kind of my sentiment, because I saw, admittedly, you know, body language says a lot of things, right? Both you, me, and the judges. I saw the judges go kind of aghast. They just like, oh, like, what went wrong here? We're trying to straightens out.
Yeah.
But you got to think that RCP straightened out quite a bit. So, hey, there it is. Father and son coming all the way from Seattle from the BMW.
Yeah.
We've seen the Mohawked young one. He's a grown man now. He bought his dad tickets for Christmas and his birthday to come down here. Beechum does get the win. He does straighten out. Would love to talk to judges for clarification, but Beechum, He is not beached. He's moving on. RCP, all nitrous, no brakes. Unfortunately, just not enough. Let's talk to the judges. Brian, what's going through you and the judges' mind? Is unanimous?
Yeah, just if you compare the leads, since they're both incomplete in the chase, coming in for turn 9 there at the bottom, Rome put his tires on the rumble strip a little bit, which we discussed in the meeting not to do, and then also he didn't fully fill outer zone 1. The rest of the course was pretty similar, so they were both a little bit off at inner clip 1 and did a decent job filling the rest of the zones. But yeah, it was mainly just coming in at turn 9 and then outer zone 1.
Okay. Thank you so much for clarification there. And we are taking a look at the second half of the Brutzky Dylan Hughes. They had some contact there, and I don't know, we haven't got clarification yet if who was at fault on that first run with Dylan Hughes out front. But here goes Dimitri Brutzky, and that BMW gets tied to the wall. Look at this. Looks like he's got a little bit of time. I believe he called the competition timeout. Dylan Hughes taking a shallower line, but this might be strategy-wise. It's not necessarily an inactive chase, but I think this is a smart way to play it, given that, you know, I would say that at first glance, speculation-wise, again, haven't talked to the judges, and you said it as well, seemed that Brutzky got aggressive. Dylan didn't impede on Brutzky's initiation.
Yeah,
but, I would look at Brutzky at a deficit.
Agreed. I don't think Brutzky's alignment is quite where he wants it to be. You can see him fighting the car. You can see the front wheel making those adjustments there. Pretty good job through inside zone 1, and then the transition was a little bit strange. You see how much left foot braking he's got to put in just to get the car to push out to outside zone 3. I will say he did a really good job of fighting this car all the way through it, but it's pretty clear to me that he was fighting it. When you get into a wreck like that, you know, you can align it to the best of your ability with the plates and the technology we have now, but you don't know if there's subframe damage, you don't know if there's like, you know, even the body of the car starts shifting, everything,
and there it is. Again, want to talk to the judges once again. I love this dialogue. Let's keep it going. So we'll throw it down to Reese Marin. But how we doing out there, everybody? Dylan Hughes gets the win. Reese, how we doing there, brother? What's going on?
So ultimately what happened is that we ended up putting the blame in to Dimitri Brutzky when we had the contact. So ultimately we went back to the second run. Dylan did a really good job in the lead. Excuse me, he did a really good job in the second run, and we ended up giving the win, and it's mainly because we had the contact. The blame was on Brutzky, and the deficit was already leaning toward that way.
Right on. Thank you for clarification.
No,
just getting it soup to nuts, as they say. Thank you so much. Reese, Brian Eggert, Robin Ishida, our judges for this round. Robbie will be splitting time with Vernon. We'll see him at 4 rounds. We'll see Robbie at 4 rounds. Hiro Minowa, welcome back, 15 years old, against a Formula Drift Pro rookie, by no means a rookie in drifting. I anticipate this being a really good battle. Austin pretty much has nothing to lose. Hiro, he's got, you know, rookie of the year last year, and look at that, goes right out there. You see that wing just get flexed a little bit, but Austin Matta, he is right there. Hiro, wall to wall, 15 years old. This is a kid of the past, the present, the future, baby. He is, oh my gosh. Like, Hiro is just, again, 15 years old. How old? I mean,
I wasn't doing
freshman?
this. Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, so the one thing I noticed in there, the initiation from Minowa is a little bit strange, just the way that the car almost jacked over. And then the rest of the run looks really good, although we do see the left foot brake there to get him out to the outside zone 3. But Matta's doing really good here. I mean,
right? It's like good. Yeah. I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, which is really tough for us. I mean, it's a bit of a detriment in our regard, but really great battle here in the top 32. Matta, as you said, he's been around for a hot minute. I'm not calling him old, but he is experienced. And really, Minowa is just continuing on what we saw before and doing it faster. One of the biggest critiques of Minowa is just his driving speed. That seems corrected, at least from that one run. That was a quick run. There was no big holdups. He wasn't checking anybody up. He was full throttle through that. We did see some corrections to get out to 3. We are seeing that a lot, but I didn't see him choke anything up. The initiation was a little strange, just the way the car moved over, but that may just be a setup thing that they've got going on.
Nerves as well. You got to think that comes into play. But I'll tell you, I think that was exemplary of a good lead run. Was it 100? No, but it was really good, and it gave Matta the platform to have a good aggressive chase run. He tapped the walls, but not aggressively. It didn't it didn't disrupt the car's attitude. You saw the body flex. Like if you roll the tape back, Daigo Saito yesterday, hard into the wall. He pushed that back 86 bumper up to the wheel. It disrupted the car. Hero, he gave a little 15-year-old smooch right there. All right, here we go. Austin is going to lead. Welcome to Formula Drift Pro. I have high hopes for Austin. Love his energy, good vibes. It's very different going from 4 rounds to 8 rounds. It's about nutrition, both mechanical and mental. Here we go, Austin out front. Let's see what this weapon brings here to this against his 15-year-old Njuku racing pilot. Look at Hero tucks into the hot pocket. Austin comes up a little bit short here. He's gonna dig deep. Whoa! Look at that correction. You saw Austin and Hero did just the same. Now coming to that tight clip, brings it around, well done. And that's, we saw, you know, look at Hero showing a veteran-esque move where he crosses the finish line and says, hey, I got more. You saw that little kind of flex, a little fist bump or a door tap across that finish line.
Yeah, so Matta gets onto it right away. Shallower initiation, takes him a little bit to really get to angle and light the tires off. And Minowa does a good job of adapting to it. This is what we talked about in the chase, like how he's able to mirror it and then slowly bring in that proximity. And then as they transition out, same thing. Minowa does a good job. You could add a little bit more angle through there, but that's what the judges are looking for. They'd rather them be back just a touch, mirror everything out to the best of their ability, and then bring the proximity in. But man, Austin Matta looking really, really confident. There's not many rookies that can come out here that have never driven this course before and lay down a run like that. It is an incredibly difficult course to run. There's so many different pavements that we've got here. The traction is different all the way through the course. The traction changes depending on the weather. And yeah, I very, very high hopes for Matta. Very, very high hopes for Minowa. It just sucks that one of them is going to have to go home.
This is an unfortunate circumstance, but that's how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. And Hiro Minowa, Njuku Racing, Jerry Yang Racing. 86 moves on. Austin, we'll see you in Atlanta, but hold your head high. That was a great battle and a great way to begin. You survived Long Beach, and there we are looking at Brutzky and Dylan Hughes having some words. Respect.
Great respect there. Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do, he says. All right. Go down to Lorette with the dozer. He's moving on to 16.
Well, as you just saw, Dimitri came over and shook Dylan's hand. And Dylan, we were talking about the track, and of course this Long Beach track has stayed the same year after year, but the conditions are changing. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, this is one of the tracks where the variance in grip, I feel like, is more so on this track than any other track that I'm familiar with. Kind of similar to like the high line up on the wall at Irwindale. It's amazing how loose it is right next to the wall. It's funny, you flick it in, you fire off on the throttle, and you're like, oh, I feel like a hero. I got all this grip. And then the closer you get to the wall, that grip just goes away. So if you have your foot through the floor, it's just bouncing the rev limiter, rowing it to the steering stops, and it's just taking all your momentum away. And you really need that momentum to be able to carry you properly out to Bill's wall and out to Judge's wall. So I just can't stress enough how dicey it is out there. But overall, it's great to be back racing. And I didn't mean to shut it down on Brutzky. I literally thought the front right corner was hanging off of the car. He bopped me pretty good, and I lost my power steering. So like, there's no possible way to do this track without power steering. So as I stopped and straightened it up and collected it, the power steering came back. But it was just one of those things. I was like, I didn't want to stop at all, but I was like, I'm going to crash us both. So hats off to Brutzky. He's a good dude. And yeah, just stoked to be moving on, though.
Dylan, thanks.
Chris Forsberg, Dan Burkett. Thank you, Dylan. There's that first run as we are talking to Dozer over that run. We'll take a look at it once again here, but Chris the Force Forsberg, that NOS Energy Drink all new Zeke, picked up that Neff vodka on the roof.
Yeah, I mean, Forsberg back to his ways, really liking the way he's driving, debuting a new tire for him, making the jump over to Kumo. So there's a lot that's got to be learned, a lot that's going to be different for him, but car looks good. Nice little tap there into outside zone 3, and then gets that decel. Now Rad Dan in the chase looking really good, really confident. Probably one of the best chase runs I've seen out of Rad Dan in a long time. The confidence is back. The changes that he's made look really, really good, and I'm happy to see Rad Dan driving with that kind of confidence. Good job getting in here in the third outside zone. I mean, Rad Dan, he kind of had this like peak a while ago, and then it looked like he was trying to develop some things. Now I'm starting to see that confidence coming back again.
Yeah, you know, he took that season off, but you know, when Dan's out here, He has a happy-go-lucky attitude. He's a human Labrador Retriever. He's got a good, he's got his little dachshund, his little long-haired dog. I'm a dog guy. Just gonna call it like it is. He's just always got a ray of sunshine, and he's got a Renee of sunshine as well.
Renee of sunshine.
His wife, but he's just always got a good attitude. But when push comes to shove, he wants to win. He's going against a 3-time champion, Christopher Forsberg, which I know he really wants to see some success. That NOS Energy Drink, all new Z, picked up that Neft vodka, so maybe a little NOS and vodka
after
there.
the show.
After the show, of course. But we're feeling the heat wave, baby. I got those new heat wave aviators, brother. You look great as well.
I can't remember which design these are, but
just shouting them out. You look good, but
thank you.
Good vibes. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jared Deanna. This is Jacob Gettins. You can find out more information on the Outer Zone podcast, getting the down and dirty, or just the kind of tight and right. Just getting a little insider information and getting in that. So be sure to tune into Outer Zone and listen to all the information in the communique. But got a little break in the action, so let's throw it down to Connor Shanahan in his sophomore season. The new car, Lorette, what do you think?
Yeah, the new car is gorgeous, and Connor is telling me that he's making some adjustments not only to the car but your driving style. Not an easy thing to do here at Long Beach.
Yeah, for sure. It's first of all, it's super good to be back. I really enjoyed Formula Drift last year, and I had to come back for more. That was always the plan. But to be back with my own program and working outside of Sorenson's camp and stuff, it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it. Built this race car very similar to what I'm used to in Europe, and everything is clicking, everything looks the part in a way. That's what I'm happy about. But it's nice to be back, and as you said, just trying to work on some things. I guess I came out of the box working with the car, very similar setup to what I use in Europe, and kind of learned quite quick that I had to change some things and change my style a little bit just to have a little bit more trust in the front and drive on a little bit more angle. But I'm happy. The car is solid. This is actually kind of our first time running the car, and we've touched wood, had no problems so far. Everything's been running great. I've built a good team, and we're here for one reason, and that's for gold. So I hope that's the plan towards the end of the year.
And we'll see him do battle against Dylan Hughes in top 16.
And here we go, Dan Burkett gets all the way out to that wall. Christopher Forsberg in that chase position. Dan is getting Rad out front in the Mark IV Supra, but I have to consider he does have to make up some ground or some points here. As far as the verdict, Forsberg, he's back there. Not as tight as we'd like, but again, this is strategy. You got to think, I think I'd love to see a side-by-side, and yes, the judges are asking for it. The BC Racing Go for Gold side-by-side, taking a look. Dan out front in that chase position, Forsberg out front on that first run. Take a look.
Yeah, love the speed that we're seeing out of this Supra. I mean, such an iconic chassis, and Dan getting everything wrangled in here. Look how smooth he is in that lead run. Late on that transition to the touch and go. That is what the judges are looking for. Kind of want to point at it, swing the back car around, while Chris Forsberg in the chase looks really good, looks sturdy and confident, and just driving with more aggression as we swap over to side by side.
Here because we had some great interviews there, but take a look on the left. Forsberg out front. You see him gets that outside zone transition. Dan is back there quite a bit. By comparison to Chris in the chase, into that third outside zone. You see Chris, you talk about composure. You can see how dialed the car is. Dan Burkett looked like he was like, oh, I got to still get, and he took out that inside clip. That is a telltale sign that he was like, oh, I got to gain some ground here. And it was just a little too late switching it up. What were your thoughts on with Dan out front and Chris in the chase?
Yeah, I think
both.
Yeah, I really think that Dan's lead was phenomenal, and it did allow Chris to have a really good chase. But I thought that Dan did a good job of catching back up when he lost a bit of ground. And we got one more time.
Chris Forsberg. And there it is. Forsberg gets the win one more time from Robbie Nishida. But the other judges, Reese and Brian, said Chris Forsberg gets the win. And a little choppy on both sides of it, but they had their moments of greatness. Yeah. I think you take that, water that seed, and that will grow. Here we are. Dan Burkett unfortunately knocked out. I think there's some refinement on both sides of those vehicles and those drivers. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Not a lot that needs to be cleaned up, but those last little things are going to make all the difference, especially as Chris moves on to the top 16.
Tommy Lazaire. Adam Lemaire. All right, well, all joking aside, 2 BMWs, not by design. Tommy Lemaire debuted a new Corvette. Unfortunately, he crashed it hard. Borrowed this car from RCP. He is driving the old faithful of a vehicle here, and Adam LZ in a BMW that is definitely treating him right. You know, we saw him last year. He was going to bounce around, go international. He's focused on FD this year. He's not going international. He's focused on LZ World Tour, which is a great compliment to all the content creators and drivers out there. Really cool event. But he is focused on FD and this Drift HQ BMW. He's out front. Let's see what he does against TLO. Tommy Lemaire, a Formula Drift Pro rookie. Woo! Look at that. Great transition under the bridge. Adam LZ. Oh, he comes up a little bit short of outside zone 3, but very aggressive out of the gate. And TLO in the garageistic. BMW taps Adam, but he keeps on keeping on around that inside clip.
Yeah, a really, really aggressive run there from Adam, who had a couple of little hits there on media day, and I'm coming back from it, but it's good to see that those incidents didn't create any fear in Adam's driving, as we see him push really fast and wide into the first outside zone. That tap second outside zone looks pretty good, but then a bit shallow into 3. You can see the wheel correction there, as Tommy doing a good job to keep in the race, but Adam overshooting that inside clip and having to V out the last zone in order to make it across the finish line without getting into the wall. You can see Adam just touching those rumble strips. The judges are pretty hard on judging that. They really don't want you using that space, but that added speed and that line that happens when you do that does start to affect later on in the run, and that's what we saw with a bit of a shallow outside zone 3. And then we see Tommy making a bit of contact there with Adam into the end. And we're here. It looks like
yeah, so taking a look here at Tommy Lemaire, that back end looks like our starter, Matt Sopa. Yeah, he's going to pop off that trunk. Yeah, that you got to think, you know, we have a rule, hood, hatch, doors, anything, you know, latchable. If it comes unlatched, that's going to be a problem. There's Forsberg and his team looking at the car, wondering what is going on, inspecting it, but Forsberg, a little bit of confidence there. We'll see. He's got some time during halftime, and then go to 16. Looks like we're going to go. So is Tommy Lemaire, he's going for it. So, all right, so garageistic BMW. Somebody mentioned D-beating. I don't know. I didn't see it, but here we go. So Tommy Lemaire all the way outside zone 3. He slaps that back rear quarter. Adam OZ keeps pace. He's got the Neft vodka on the roof, the heat wave flowing. He bangs door. He says, all right, cool. You give it to me, I'm going to give it to you, like a mosh pit here. Looking like he's at getting a little emo concert there. He's slapping the roof there, TLO. Little kind, like, thank you for putting me where I'm at, old Sally.
Yeah, so I mean,
was there a DB?
We heard talks about it. I mean, it might have just been the camera angle, but it almost looked like Tommy was DB'd. But I mean, he's on it. He's getting the speed. He's making the run. Adam in the chase though, super aggressive, coming at it 2. Kind of slingshotted the car over. Now we see a big correction there from Tommy Lemaire before he goes into the touch and go. And Adam gets back around. I think. Yeah, I'm still trying to see if there was a DB. I don't think they would have let him off the line like that.
No, they would
Soap
not.
is pretty good. I think he'd catch that, but. He's looking at it, he's like, oh man, that repair bill. Tommy's got to pay for a couple of repairs. So we go over to the BC Racing custom coilover side-by-side. Let's see, as Tommy, yeah, the rumble strip in that first zone, or after initiation is something they're looking pretty hard at. Now, Tommy did get a deeper section into outside zone 3 than Adam did, and arguably a better inside clip, but I would say first and second zone look better by Adam, so that's tough. That's really tough. But the aggression out of Adam is nuts to see after having those hits. Really, really awesome to see anybody bounce back from something like that. And then Tommy just making the best out of a chassis that he really doesn't know. Some E36 on E36 action going on. And yeah, you've got, I mean, comparable cars, comparable drivers. You know, Tommy Lemaire, as I said before, one of the best to come out of Canada, period. And,
we get it. You're from Canada, dude. And here we go. One more time. I'll tell you what, I think this is justifiable. We've really tried to minimize one more time because if you look at snowboarding, skateboarding, a lot of things like, you know, it was good, but just do it again. We're such a rare motorsport melding with action sport. We create our own rules, you know, and I think that is justifiable of a one more time. So we'll run them again. The BMW's the backup car at TLO. But speaking of backup, he is back at it. Chris Forsberg advances on. What's the energy like down there, Lorette?
Well, I would say the energy is high. Of course, it's Long Beach. It's the start of 2025. Chris is ready to roll. And Chris, we were just talking about muscle memory and this track. Does it come back easily for you?
It does. This track it's legendary. It's also very dangerous. You know, you really have to be on your toes. And you saw even in my last run, just a few inches goes a long way. And you know, we had the tap, but we didn't waver the car. And so we're you know, we're playing pinball out there. And so every inch counts.
Okay. And what about the changes for 25?
Oh, big changes on our end. The biggest one is we're now with Kumho tire, and I gotta say it's absolutely fantastic. It's the best tire I've ever had on a drift car. By far, we're getting more duration out of the tire. We have more grip. We have more deceleration braking than we've ever had. That was our biggest adjustment into the car yesterday and into today, is the ability for us to slow the car down coming into turn 1 and into the hairpin. So making some changes for that and still having the drive and the ability to maneuver the car behind anyone that's in front of us.
Well, amazing things. We are going to take a quick little break here at Long Beach. We have more action to go. Be like Chris Forsberg. Watch everything. Don't go anywhere. And we'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks, Cam.
Drifting is not just a sport. It's culture. It's in our blood.
Here we go, Andy Hateley. Oh, he is riding that tire right on that white line.
Tires are what we live and breathe in Formula D. We couldn't do this without them.
Motorsports isn't complicated. It's made up of races where you go as fast as you can, as best as you can, as sideways as you can, and whatever this is. Our team, Toyota Gazoo Racing. We make some seriously fast cars, like this one and this one, definitely this one. And they all have great drivers, ones that win, like win a lot. Look at all these legends. The hottest drivers right now are him, her, and this guy. They're all part of a big, happy family of speed demons. Now you're up to speed. You in?
You need parts? We got parts. Need it fast? We got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We are back. A beautiful day here in Long Beach. If you're just joining us, I'm Jared Deanda. Next to me is Jacob Gens, our girl on the ground and pit reporter, Lorette Nickel. Back at it like a track addict. We are going to have it's sold out. I mean, I have to assume. I know last night, but this, if you got to see, basically it's just like that bleacher right there. So just an eye shot of some of the shots, but I'm telling you, you're going to want to buy your tickets early, you know, and later on, the question is, are you ready? Round 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship being announced at the driver introduction, the United States Air Force opening ceremonies. So it's going to be great. We're going to announce it again earlier today. Also along the Formula Drift Hall of Fame induction. That's going to be awesome. This is what went down Thursday night. Type S Nightlights presented by Toyota Gazoo Racing. Also in support by ST Suspensions. Larry Chen. This gentleman, I mean, consummate professional. He's everywhere, man. Shooting those cannon shots, him and his team. I got to go down there, host, talk out, give some goods. It was a party. It was like a movie scene.
Yeah.
Sung was there again from Fast and Furious, notably, but obviously the actor. Look at this. We had pro cars out there. Toyota debuted a Yuzu Edition 86. the Supra Mark V Final Edition. Also, they teased the new. It's here in the building. All three cars, the Toyota GR Corolla, the new edition. It's in the Dazzle camo. Just in the shadow, the Queen Mary. It was a party, man. Jacob, you missed out. I know you've been exhausted, traveling, tired, but guess what? I think we'll do it again.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it definitely looked epic, and the photos, everything else that came from it are absolutely insane. And I mean, these meetups are, it's such a massive part of car culture. The car meet is really what keeps the community together, and I'm glad that FD and Type S are able to partner up and do something this cool where we can grow the sport to the casual fans.
I had a homie of mine, Keith Sarlos. He's never been to Formula Drift, and he's like, dude, the drifting community is so nice. So let's keep that up, okay, guys?
Yeah, please.
Let's just love the energy there. So shout out to over there in Sullivan, the good seed. I know they're watching over there. So just, again, good energy, good vibes. Type S, Nightlights, Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. Thank you for their support of the series and putting on a great event. We're going to be doing a few of those. Also, we're going to be doing Send It, the video series throughout the year, kind of encapsulating more of the lifestyle stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah.
You know, riding Super 73s, going to local watering holes, and just good vibes overall. Maybe some golfing.
There you go.
If I had it my way, we'd go golfing every round. Jeff Jones, look at this. I don't know to salute or high five or, you know.
Yeehaw. Yeehaw, that man.
Yeah. Here's the stats between them. Daniel Stuke there, all the way back to 2020. So these guys have only gone against each other once. And Stuke better Jeff Jones. But I'll tell you, Jeff, you know, putting on his own events, Hot Pit Auto Fest, and with Hot Pit, you receive a FD Pro license this year.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Good progression for him. Stuke, a little bit of momentum. He's had some track time. Yesterday, practice. You know, he was in that seating bracket. You got to think, how does that play into his driving prowess here in Long Beach?
Lots of momentum, able to shake down the car, find any issues, and like I said earlier on, he won it by being consistently good all the way through and not making any major mistakes. And you know, now it's time to step up and really push the pressure onto Jeff Jones.
Can he keep it moving? Here we go. That Evil Auto Works Nissan 370Z. He's got the V8 under the hood. He doesn't get all the way out there. Looks like the car grips up, but he does find that second outside zone. Stuke goes in a bit shallow. Jeff Jones, you see a quick little correction, a little twitch of the wheel. In that last inside clip, Stuke dives in. So it looks like, as far as a dance, you know, if there's a dance competition, they just were kind of stepping on each other's toes, or not so much. So they weren't really vibing. They weren't kind of in the same flow of it all. Jeff Jones, like I said, he started out, watch, he doesn't get all the way to outside zone 1, but he does dial it in for 2.
Yeah, the initiation kind of took a second. There's a bit of a delay once the movement started. You can see the adjustment there. Stuke starts to try and push the pressure in, but not able to really catch things up until the outside zone 3. And you can see by looking at the front wheel of Jeff Jones some of the corrections that are being made. Overall, a pretty good run, but you can see those corrections being made. Whereas Stuke, it took him a minute to really get into the fight. You know, right here, he has to take a tighter line, gets back on the throttle and isn't able to close the gap, pulls back to the transition. Now he needs to get the pressure in. And by the third outside zone, he is able to get back into the fight and kind of make the last half of the run worth it. But is it too little too late? We won't know until we swap things around, and Stuke will be in the lead and Jeff Jones will be chasing behind.
Taking a look here at TLO, Tommy Lemaire. Now, here's a one more time. He is going against Adam LZ. Again, unarguably one of the most popular drivers in Formula Drift, Adam LZ. You know, he brings all of his content creation, everything he's done just over the years, from 2 wheels BMX, moving on to 4 wheels. And I mean, his fleet of cars is really hard to beat. And here he is again competing in Formula Drift. It's great to have him back. Here we go. Daniel Stuke, M-Spec, S-Chassis, Jeff Jones in the chase. Let's see what Stuke. Boom, right there. Jeff Jones comes up short again. That Evil Auto Works car coming us from the IE. That M-Spec Performance S-Chassis. This is back to where he was last night. Jeff, you can see that big drift energy just come down a little bit. Medium drift energy. He runs over that inside clip. Hey, thank you to our track workers, by the way. Awesome. Yeah. Cal Club, amazing. Thank you to Cal Club, all the folks out there in the white outfits working it. Thank you to the Cal Club for keeping our tracks safe and keeping it tidy. Let's take a look at it. Run it back.
Yeah, Stuke's run looked a lot more fluid than what we saw from Jeff Jones, although it did need a few spots to be able to clean up. So really good line out there to the first outside zone. Nice smooth floating transition to the second. Bit of a correction, bit of a shimmy there to get to the third. Jeff does a good job of getting the pocket at that point. pushes things pretty well through the touch and go. Actually looks like he even touched the touch and go through that section. Had to check the car up a little bit, and then Jeff able to get back around. So keeping an eye on Jeff through this. He does a fairly good job for the first inside clip. Back a little bit on the second. Reels things in for the third. Holds it in spot, a little bit of a wavering, and doesn't really get the timing right through that touch and go. So I think what this is going to kind of come down to is the series of mistakes that were made by both drivers and who more or less didn't make as many. Both runs were really good. It's just now we're at the point of having to nitpick and get into these fine details. Everybody got their zones where they needed to. I think, you know, Stuke had a bit more fluidity through his run, whereas Jeff might have been able to get some of the zones a little bit better. And then when we talk about the chase, both of them took a little bit of time to really get into the pocket. So tough to say. I'm happy with the progression of Stuke, happy with seeing Jeff Jones back here and having fun, and, you know, rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Best 2 out of 3. Okay, 1 and 1. Oh, there it is. So according to that, Stuke won. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's as good as FIA rules right there.
I mean, you know, some days it feels like that.
Here we go, Jeff Jones, Daniel Stuke, slide him left for Jones. One for Stuke. Daniel Stuke gets the win. So Rami Nishida siding with Jones, but there it is. So Stuke gets the. They're changing cars. They jumped in each other's cars.
Oh, no way.
Jeff jumped into Stuke's. Stuke jumped into Jeff. You know what? This.
Can you figure out how to drive it? There you go, Jeff.
I am loving the humanitarianism that is exuding out of the drivers and the fun-loving attitude. You know, here's Jeff, who just lost, but he wins at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, they're very serious, but they're also very serious about having a good time. And that's the way it should be.
I'm just telling you, there's no other motorsport like this.
No.
I've announced a lot of things. Here we are entering our 22nd season. I've been around since day one, and I'm so proud to call the action alongside you and just for the world. And these are like children, man. I love it. Meaning I've seen them grow up and ready to see them party. Here we go. Adam LZ and TLO, Tommy Lemaire, a lot of letters, but what it equates to is OMT one more time. Adam LZ goes all the way out there. Really good posture. The poise of the Drift HQ BMW on the BC Racing suspension. Dials it in on that last outside zone 3. Whoa! He sheds that back wing. He says, all right, you cut weight, I'm going to cut weight too. Wow, look at that. It looks like he popped open that trunk like a bottle of Neft vodka. Just cracked that thing right open. The Garagistic BMW. We are finding out from Lorette that he did change a tie rod. Talk about Tommy.
So Adam's line here is really good. Just barely touches that the rumble strip through our initiation point. Does a really good job through all of the zones, but I like how long he's able to hold the car out there. Now, the only thing is his transition was just like, I mean, we're talking 100th too late, and does catch that bumper pretty hard on the touch and go. A little bit of a hesitation at the very, very end of the third outside zone, but really, really like the line of Adam LZ through that entire section. Tommy, once again, I mean, all the admiration I can give him for driving a car that he's never driven before and competing at this level. To go one more time with Adam LZ, was ranked 5th last year and still hold his own. Tommy Lemaire, this looks like party mode. This looks like two buddies battling it out in their beater cars, just going at it, and that ultimately can lead to some of the best drifting you're going to watch.
Absolutely, I think it's really, really fun. Adam, you know, he does not have the mechanical sympathy. He just goes for it. So much so, you know, last year he was going to do a partial season. He had great. He finished 5th overall, the highest, as you say, highest finishing quote-unquote American driver, respectfully as far as full on, you know, but we'll see what he does this season. He wasn't going to do all season, built a new car, amazing. So here we go, Tommy Lemaire, the Garagistic BMW, but again, backup car to his Corvette, and Tommy looks really good. I got to think Adam LZ, look at him. Oh, he put it right back to the wall. Adam LZ is, you know, once you back off and kind of give it 90%, that's where the mistakes are made, because a lot of it's muscle memory. You got to push. You got to kind of push that lead driver around sometimes, showing that dominance. Tilo a lot more confidently. He says, let's go again.
Yeah.
Look at Tommy. That he's saying, wind it up. Let's run it back. Wind him up and send him.
Yeah, Tommy had a really good lead run here, and it does open the door for the chase that we see from Adam LZ. So the initiation from Tommy, a little bit hesitant, but then able to get things back dialed in. And yeah, Adam almost throwing more angle, using the third outside zone as a bit of a bumper to get it back into grip and push the car forward. He does a really good job through this section. So Tommy, bit of that hesitation, as I said, gets back in the throttle here to slingshot out to the second outside zone. Adam on the inside of it as we push out to 3. Adam going wide, uses the wall bump to get back into grip and get the car pushed out to that touch and go, and is able to just hold the door of Tommy Lemaire all the way around our inside clip and across the line. So, whew, that was a party run. That was very like party run is how that felt.
Yeah, you keep saying that, dude. Where's the hats? Where's the the candles? Where's the fireworks?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was good.
Where's the cake?
Where's the cake? Where's the party cake?
Yeah, dude.
Nah, that was
like
good.
Like a fat kid loves cake is the rap quote, right? I like cake. You like cake?
I do like cake.
I know you don't love cake, but you don't like eating it.
I like enjoying it. I don't like what it does to my thighs.
Hey, thick thighs save lives. That's what the kids say.
I'm not a kid anymore.
Nah.
All right,
don't grow up. It's a trap.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the side by side. So, looking at the leads to start, I mean, both drivers look really fluid, but it does look like Adam's chase through a lot of this is much, much closer. Where things shake up a little bit is Adam's touch and go is a little bit more than a touch, more of a slap and go through that section. Does kind of affect his line. Tommy wasn't really in the pocket during that. I don't think it affected him too much, but kudos to both drivers on that because, man, that was sick. That was really, really cool. When you get, you get the same chassis, you got 2 different power plants there, it always leads to really good driving because the dynamics are the same. The way the car handles is going to be very similar. So it allows for a really, really good chase pretty much no matter what. So let's see what the judges say as we get them popped up.
Slide him left for Adam LZ, right for TLO, and Adam LZ throws it in there, and you said it looks like he's out of touch. So quoting a famous duo, Daryl Hall and John Oates, you're out of touch, you're out of time. Unfortunately, TLO. Tommy Lemaire is out, but the letters of L and Z, Adam LZ, advances on into the top 16. The stands are filling up, baby. Seeing the fans, holding fans. This is so meta. Yeah. Fans on fans on fans. As it is heating up. The track, this is where it's sweet. This is where it's good. This is the Quan, as I'd say. Right now, the track's got good heat, good grip, no slip. This is where it should be the entirety of the day. If we get a little bit of breeze, you can see the smoke clears out, goes over to the beach. This is, welcome back, Daigo Saito, former champ. The Ninja is in the building, running that sweet Juku Racing bait livery. Looks great, but welcome back, and you are going against second overall. Last year and multiple times, Odi Bakshi. He is focused, he's dialed. Here comes Odi Bakshi, out front, that field suspension, S chassis, and there goes Daigo Saito, straightens up, and Odi Bakshi completes the entirety of this. This is unfortunately, Daigo Saito will have to crawl through, and there's Odi. I mean, I saw the bracket last night, and I said, Daigo, welcome back, but good luck, man. I'll tell you, there's so many things in Odi's camp that are saying a lot of eyeballs in him. He's in the camp of Ryan Tuerck, Matt Field, Odi Bakshi. Those are 3 drivers that I think have the makings and the, on paper, the car, the build. And obviously I'm not discrediting anybody, but historically, you can tell the future by looking at the past. And Odi is that guy that has been the bridesmaid, never the bride. We said it, we'll say it again. Here watches on his teammate. But Odi, a lot of eyeballs on him. He is not campaigning in a pro spec car. He's not running a car for another person like Simon Olsen last year. This is his year.
Yeah.
This is his year to strike gold. Pressure, diamonds, whatever you want to use. Carbon fiber, the carbon Kevlar weave. He is made for it, man.
Yeah, Odi Bakshi he's a legend in the making. This is a driver, 302 matches in his career in FD with a 68% win rate.
Dude.
That is up there. That is in the upper echelons of all of them. So we are waiting to hear what all is happening coming out of the Jerry Yang camp. And we're not hearing great things, unfortunately. I think you're going to have to wait for the official call to come across. But, yeah, toe is not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
Love the Bathing Ape livery. The Bape livery looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
What's this? Apes Together Strong. That's cool. Jerry Yang and his camp. We know what the Yang camp is capable of. They're very talented. They built some amazing cars. You know, Hiro, Kazuya, he's hung up his hat, you know, driving an FD. Daigo, welcome back, but this is not what you want. You wonder what happened.
And for the new fans out there, if you don't know the legacy that is Daigo Saito, somebody who came in 2012, absolutely dominated. You know, he's got 6 wins, 9 podiums in 26 events. Crazy set of stats. He was actually 3rd in Long Beach in his first season in 2012.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's out.
He's out.
Absolutely out. No competition timeout for Daigo Saito. Welcome back, but we'll see him in Atlanta as Odi Bakshis will advance on. He makes quick work. Just listen to the symphony of the V8 supercharged. That car, that driver, that recipe is going to be, quote me on this, he's going to be one to watch this season. He's had just these unfortunate events mid-season, late in the season. He's won here before, Odi Bakshis. Can he put it together for a whole entire season? It begins here. I'm telling you, he's, you know, formulaic. He's got, you know, spotter of the year in his corner. His wife Amy, who's very intelligent. She's a scholar. She obviously wants the best for her husband, her family. A lot of eyeballs on Odi Bakshis.
I would argue she wants to win more than he does.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Just full on. Yeah, we're hearing from Daigo's spotter. He's saying the engine just popped.
No.
So. Yeah, unfortunate. So V tells us that it's unfortunate there. So, all right, moving on to our next battle. What do you got?
Jonathan Hurst, Jonathan Castro. I mean, both drivers looking really, really good in practice. Castro debuting a new engine package, new turbo setup, making the most power he's ever made. So he's very, very excited about that. I think that'll mean big things. And Jonathan Hurst had I had dinner with him the other night. He feels like this is the best his program's ever been. He's got a lot of confidence in it.
Well, he's going against Mr. Cool, the pride of Paducah. Mr. Jonathan Hurst, Cash Racing, comes into view. Castro, he's sucked in right there. So Cash comes up a bit short. Excuse me, Hurst. I was going to call him Cash Racing. Look at this. Castro. Good proximity, not mimicking the angle. But look at this, the aggressive nature that Castro has. I talked to him that Type S Nightlights the other night. I said, dude, love the livery.
Yeah.
The black infusion, I think, is something that metaphorically is something he needs. He needs to kind of harness that anger.
Yeah, he does, and we see that in the chase here. Now, Jonathan Hurst getting on the rumble strips, which does mean that he goes a bit shallow through the first outside zone, but does a good job, doesn't panic, and is able to make outside zone 2 and 3 look good. But look at Castro with a great proximity. Oh, an amazing dive for that touch and go. Oh, so well timed from Castro. It's been a little bit, but I need to remind you that he has had some of the most insane chase runs we've seen in FD history in Jonathan Castro. Hurst does not panic when he makes that mistake, able to get through the rest of the run, makes the correction without making it obvious. You know, you might even forget that he missed that part of the zone because of how good the rest of the run looks. Castro, though, right there the whole time. I would like to see him mirror a little bit more than the proximity that we're seeing, but it's there. He's got the ability, he's got the timing. Now, once they swap it around, can Hurst keep up with the new speed that we're seeing out of Jonathan Castro?
Yeah, the refinement there is really what's going to just have that X factor. Also, for those in the building, if you have an umbrella, please be respectful of your fellow Formula Drift fans to not impede on their view. So again, if you have an umbrella, be respectful, ask, apologize, ask for graciousness, please. Do not impede on the view of your fellow Formula Drift fans. Thank you. Here we go, Jonathan Castro out front. The Metal Dom Toyota GR86 comes into view. Boom, he works it all the way out there. Jonathan Hurst had to back off a little bit in that Cadillac. Hurst comes up now, excuse me, Castro comes up short. And Hurst, that allows him to get right there. The Mr. Cool Cadillac, love the car, love his personality. The pride of Paducah took one of the hardest hits here in Long Beach. He broke a foot, broke his, and then just got right back out there. And he's great, man. Just great energy from him, both the drivers. But you can see, look at that, taking home the clipping point as a souvenir.
So let's see our initiation there from Castro. Long break pull, but is able to get into the first outside zone. You can see just how aggressive Hurst is. And from our other view, you could see that Castro wasn't super deep through the second or third outside zone. And Cash does a good job of making those corrections, although the inside clip was, definitely he ran a real inside line of that, and that's why we see it as our drone pilot getting real risky with some of these dives now. As we see through this transition, Hurst does a really good job of getting the pocket, bathing in the smoke, but Castro not able to get out. I do like that Jonathan was able to adapt, able to keep that line, has to check up pretty hard through that section, but does keep the car in drift. So to me, I do think that Hurst had a better lead run, but Castro did have an amazing chase in that. And then Castro, his lead run was lacking just a little bit, but Hurst, wasn't perfect through it either. So it's going to be a tough call.
Slide him left for Castro, and there it is, left for Hurst, and right unanimously for Dominican's finest, Jonathan Castro. And the Methyl Dom Kenda Tires Toyota GR86. All right. Lorette, what happened at Daigo's Motor? I know you're with Jerry Yang.
Exactly, Jared. And Jerry, I just wanted to get a word. What happened to Daigo's car?
So we was down one cylinder, cylinder 2. We had head gasket issues. So.
Well, unfortunately, for Long Beach, we won't see him drive, but he has a full contract, so we will see him in Atlanta. Thank you so very much. And I'm going to move to your young driver here, Hero, who we're going to see in top 16 go against Chris Forsberg. And coming into the season, you've made some changes to your driving. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we changed a little bit driving style for this year, actually, because last year I was too much focusing to the lead run, then the chase run it's not so good. Then this year I was practicing a lot for this season. So this season will be so good.
And guys, for context, this 15-year-old just graduated middle school and will be making his way towards high school. We're going to see you in the top 16. Thank you, Hero.
All right, Hero Minowa. Hey, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. When we come back, the party continues. Round 1, and it all begins here in Long Beach. Strong Beach down to get the friction on.
Visit your local discount tire and service centers for all your automotive needs. We're family owned, serving as your one-stop shop to have your vehicle running smoothly. We offer 5-star services and a price match guarantee. Plus, get 2 tires free when you purchase 2 select tires. What are you waiting for? Go online and schedule your appointment today.
Are you ready to rev up your career? At the University of Northwestern Ohio, our high-performance motorsports program puts you in the fast lane with a 70% hands-on education. Learning from the best in the business, you'll master the skills needed to excel in the world of motorsports. From the pits to the paddocks, UNOH students and graduates dominated all facets of racing. Turn your passion into a career at UNOH. Apply today at unoh.edu.
Is this it?
This is
Formula Drift is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. GT Radial. Experience the performance. Rockstar Energy, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. Kumo Tire.
Nope, I'm not. And we are on. We are back. We are more than halfway through our 32. We have just a few more battles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12. The streets of Long Beach. Playing hosts Jared Deanna, Jacob Gens, the Red Nickel, your tour guides. You know, actions speak louder than words. We put an exclamation point on it. Getting the heat on the streets is the Red Nickel, Jacob Gettins, and Osaka Daggers. Look at that shirt. Oh, I would not. Dang. If I ran into that guy here on the streets of Long Beach, I'd go the other way. But look at, oh, we got the Matt Field fan club out in left field. They're cheering him on.
Someone took their school field trip to FD.
I know, I love it. Hopped up on cotton candy, and there they are. They're cheering for Matt Field. He's got the sick heat waves on. Dude, the new metal aviator frames looking fire. They do look Borla good. Exhaust. Borla's on the RTR camp, so they got Corvettes, they got Mustangs. Borla's got it all. And there it is. He's running Liquimolly, Lane Customs. He's going against Rudy Hansen. Look like he rode the jet ski like right up to his S chassis. Love the high vis. Looking good. Rudy Hansen. And these guys have not seen battle before. That's kind of crazy. I've never, I wouldn't have anticipated that. Yeah. Also, check out the Lean Customs pins. They just dropped the KB 43 for KB Forever. 4-3 day was the other day, and we're celebrating the entirety of the weekend. Here we go. Matt, the beast of the Bayfield. He initiates in that first outside zone. Boom goes the dynamite. Rudy Hansen shortens up a little bit, doesn't get to that first outside zone. Matt Field doesn't get all the way to outside zone 3, but look at the smoothness Matt Field has. Rudy Hansen chops it up. He takes out that inside clip. So, again, a little bit of an arm wrestling match here. Unfortunately, Rudy Hansen just outpowered by the Corvette. This is, like I said, we just saw Odie run. Odie, Matt, Tuerck, a lot of eyeballs on them.
Yeah, there is a lot of speed coming out of that Corvette right now, and you can see that Matt having to make some corrections actually to work with it. Tons of angle there, and even into outside zone 3, you can see he's got a left foot brake, even grabs a bit of e-brake through, I believe it's the second outside zone, and Rudy just doing what he can to keep up. Now, listen, getting across the finish line first is not the name of the game when it comes to drifting, but there is something to be said about having the speed. You don't want to go so fast that you're basically cutting out the line, not filling the zones. And we are seeing that Matt is able to wrangle it in, although it would be nice to not see the corrections to have to fill those zones. We want a nice balance where he's able to flow through all of it. Rudy Hansen doing a really, really good job, though, of trying to get into it, trying to find his way in without making it look desperate. It's tough, though. Matt Field's car is so fast.
This is where, Matt's road to a championship or to his success has been very comparable to a Vaughn Gittin Jr., who is a 2-time champ. Here's Matt going for his first. And when it really came together for Vaughn, it was when he didn't beat himself. I would say that Matt's worst enemy is himself. He's really harnessed that energy, and I know he's taken some mental coaching as well as physical. I was talking to him the other night at Pike Bar, having some drinks and talking to him. He says, dude, you need to work out. Like, you just see him. Like,
he loves
he's
it.
doing all the things to sharpen the sword, and now he just really needs to put that sword, against his competition, but again, notably himself. Seems like he's hard on himself, but equally he's finding self-love. And with all of that journey, I think he has the making to really put it together. But if we backtrack to a few years ago, when he was going for a championship, and unfortunately he spun. And that was that wet Irwindale round.
Yeah.
That's where it really you feel for him, man. But I'll tell you what, Matt wins before he shows up. He's got a great attitude. He's got Scarps in his corner. He's got a very supportive family, wife, dog. He's living a great life. He wins before he shows up. The C8 Corvette, working on some great projects, a new drift cave.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm doting on Matt Field because we know he's got it. Rudy Hansen, love him as well, but right now, a lot of eyes on Matt Field.
Yeah, Matt Field, I mean, we've said before, like a championship in the making, and he's just come so close so many times. And, with this sport, the consistency, the aggression, and there's always that touch of luck, and that's been the last thing that he's needed to stand on the top of the step, at the end of the season, and that's the only thing that he's got left to do is win that championship. And he's got such an amazing career. He's driven all over the world. He's built some incredible cars and been at the forefront of development in a lot of ways. This is the last thing for him. And for Rudy Hansen, it's getting his feet under him, understanding just how fast pro is, and it takes a while. Coming up from pro spec, it's not going to be a 1 or a 2 year thing. It's going to take some time. And Rudy Hansen, it's every lap. He's just trying to get a little bit better. If it's win the zone, win the corner, whatever, that's where he's at in his program. But I have no doubts that we'll be having a very similar conversation about Rudy's career in a few years as we are with Matt's career.
And his wife as well.
Yeah. I mean, Shelly coming up. I'm very excited to see what she does in pro spec. People are not ready for her.
She's a designer. She's a livery guy. She's a spitball, man. She's a fireball. Here we go. And here we go with Rudy Hansen out front. Matt Field. Look at that. So Rudy, he is blazing a trail there. You saw him transition under the bridge. Good execution. You see Matt Field don't really, it looks like he's scrappy, man. He is really trying to hang in there with Hansen, but Hansen is just that ball of energy. You see him kind of move around, and Matt really has to adapt to it, just a scrappy style. If you're a fan of like MMA, Rudy has this kind of like Nate Diaz style where you just don't know where it's coming from next.
Yeah, and I mean, Rudy's got the speed in the car right now, but he needs to get more or less the depth. He needs to get into those zones and push the car a little bit wider and really float the car out. The car seems tight. And what I really like to see, though, is that Matt Field understands where Rudy's at in his driving career and is able to adapt to that. He's not pushing too hard. He's giving Rudy a little bit of space and then reeling him in throughout the corners. Let Rudy make the first move, then make your adjustment. You see that with the initiation. Let Rudy get to angle, then Matt follows in with angle. Okay, let Rudy get out to the first outside zone, see what his pace is like, then Matt makes the dive into the second one. He almost gives up the first outside zone on Rudy Hansen to understand what Rudy's going to do, and then is able to strike at that point. Let him make the first swing. Matt, very much a counter-striking movement in that chase run, but to me, that was the smart play.
And there we can see our Matt Field fans cheering him on. They're pulling for him. We'll see if he gets the victory. And it kind of was leaning that way, but the judge's verdict is in. Slide him left for Matt Field or right for Rudy Hansen. And it looks like 1 and a 2, and it is unanimous. Matt Field, the Beast in the Bay, gets the win and advances on into the top 16. We get ready for our next pair. B. Sorenson, Andy Hateley. All right, so we are getting prepped for them. What's your expectation for Brandon Sorenson and Andy Hateley as Castro looks on?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Sorenson has spent a lot of time within his program. He's done a lot of development. Another driver at the forefront. He's putting together new parts, new designs, not maybe, taking what was off the shelf and now making something completely custom. But Andy Hateley, putting in the reps, putting in the time, sticking with the chassis, making those developments. They had that overheating issue the other day, able to get that rectified. Just an air pocket in the system, bled that out, able to get things rolling now. So Brandon Sorenson, he's hungry. He's got to push hard. He's got 2 siblings coming up behind him that are pushing even harder. So he's got to have that answer going into these pro levels.
And here we go. That is Brandon Sorenson out front of the United States Air Force BMW. Gets all the way out. Andy Hateley takes the shallow line. That EVA AutoWorks BMW. He did have some turns last night in that seating bracket with Brandon Sorenson being preceded coming into this season. Sorenson finishing 10th overall. This young buck. And guess what? There's another Sorenson that's joining us. Cam, his younger brother, I should say their younger brother, Amanda Sorenson, being picked up by Rockstar and their younger brother in Pro Spec as well.
Yeah, really like how nice and fluid. I didn't know that there was an outside zone on that wall, but Brandon Sorenson basically scrubbing the wall at initiation, which is really good because he's able to get this nice wide arc, this nice wide line. You can see how smooth, minimal corrections. He's not over-correcting the car. If he's making a mistake, he's not fighting it. And that, I mean, you don't want to be making any mistakes whatsoever, but you don't want to make it glaringly obvious by grabbing the e-brake and having the left foot and do all these different pushes. Could have been a little bit deeper through the second outside zone, but doesn't do anything super crazy to make that correction. Andy Hateley, though, in the chase, doing a really good job. Smooth, getting into the pocket where he needs to. Doesn't quite time the transition through the touch and go perfectly, But same thing, not panicking, not doing anything absurd, not drawing a lot of attention to those mistakes. That being said, the judges, they've got amazing eyes, and they're going to see every single movement, everything that you're doing wrong, they're noting it down.
They are just laser vision.
Hawk eyes.
Good old Hawkeye. Okay, yeah, easy there. Pump the brakes. All right, here we go. We got Mr. Drift Wizard. Let's see what kind of sorcery we got cooked up here. Tumble and Troil, boil and bubble. Let's go down to Long Beach. As he drops in and he drops the staff on Brandon Sorenson. But Brandon Sorenson, unflappable, brings it in, repping the 702 Las Vegas with a 513 on the roof. High flying Brandon Sorenson. That was good. That was really good. Andy Hateley, you know, good effort. Had some mistakes in that chase. Decent, but look at Sorenson. Where'd he go, dude? I mean, the Drift Wizard cast some sorcery.
I think so. I think he teleported them out of the car.
This was, dude, I don't understand. This is some devil's stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, Andy, good line there. Not getting onto those rumble strips like the judges said. Unfortunately, gets into the wall a little bit and ends up bouncing back and tapping the front end of Brandon, who stays in it, stays with it. Andy adding in that little bit of extra angle, but comes up shallow through the touch and go. Needed to have that angle coming through the third outside zone and not trying to add it in a little bit later on. I really like the development from both of these drivers. Brandon, from years past, would get a little bit too aggressive, fight a little bit too hard, and now as he's aged and matured, has realized sometimes you have to drive the car at 9/10. Depending on who you're battling, you don't have to go all in on it. Makes adds the exclamation point at the end. Really rubbing doors that come across the line. Love to see that from Brandon, but not overly aggressive through the entire run. Just nice and smooth.
Clean. Keep it
Very
tidy.
clean.
Keep it right. It's like he folded the pillow and before he left. Here we go. Brandon Sorenson. There it is. Andy Hateley. Love the look. The Drift Wizard. Just an absolute good time as Brandon Sorenson with just a few more battles left. As we whittle down from 32 to 16, we caught up with the three-time champion, which I think he knows what's to be expected here at Formula Drift. So we asked him, what is to be expected about Formula Drift compared to the rest of the world and all the other drifting sanction bodies? Freddie.
I think you can hear with Connor that driving an FD is very different from some of these other series. We have very specific tires here, very specific weight rules. We have very specific tracks. So even though this is drifting, it's a different kind of drifting than what people are used to elsewhere. So you have to be prepared to relearn some things. You have to have an open mind and figure out how this differs from everything else that you've done. And I think the new driver that can adapt the best is the one that's going to succeed.
Some great insight there, very calm. I like that kind of, a testimonial there. Getting some insight there from Fredric Aasbo, a three-time champ, finishing top 3 overall last year. He's going against Connor Sullivan. Welcome to Formula Drift Pro O'Sullivan with that United States Army BMW, the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota Supra. Woo, just a little smooch of the touche right there on the wall in that third outside zone. Look at O'Sullivan. He knows who he's going against. This is, and some contact was made. So I'll tell you, the wide arches, that thick rear end of that Toyota Supra, that Mark V, you saw again, just a good little smooch of the touche out there, out back on that outside zone 1. And this is, like I said earlier with Ryan Litteral, he knew what to expect, and that's what going against Aasbo as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Connor O'Sullivan in this case as well, this is his pro spec car. He's down to only 700 horsepower right now, so he's got an uphill battle, but you know that Fredric Aasbo is going to run an absolutely incredible lead line, and that's what we see here. Aasbo, where I think the judges might start to look at this is, should he have been back on throttle through that point? We'll get to that in a little bit, but Freddie out front looking absolutely dialed. I would have liked to see a slightly deeper in second outside zone, but that's pretty much my only point there. We could have a conversation about should Freddie have been back on throttle at that point, but he has a really, really good arc through there. I think he's safe, but we're really going to have to dive into that one if we need to determine fault a little bit later on. But Connor O'Sullivan, great chase, especially being down on horsepower, representing the U.S. Army, celebrating their 250th birthday. That's pretty epic, and what a great collaboration.
A lot of candles.
Yeah, that's a lot of candles. I mean,
well, again, thank you to United States Air Force is our one of our major sponsors, so thank you for their support. But of course, thank you to all the military, active and past, as well as those that are getting sworn in. So, all right, thank you so much to all the active military. Here we go, the United States Army, BMW. That of Osoli goes in, and he gets out there now. Fredric Aasbo, he comes up short, but he comes back. Look at O'Sullivan. He gets an outside zone 3. Look at this. Osoli twisting the screws on a 3-time champion of Fredric Aasbo. O'Sullivan says, yeah, I might be a rookie, but I'm not a rookie to this game.
No. O'Sully has one of the fastest come-ups we've seen in the sport. His ability, like what he's been able to do in such a short period of time and run through all these different competitions, run through pro spec, now into pro. Look at that initiation. Was a little bit shallow through that section. Just shouldn't have been on the rumble strips, but everything else about this run, man, little micro corrections to it, adds a little bit more angle through there. Freddie has to back out into that transition. But dang, Connor O'Sullivan, I mean, coming out of the gate in this car, like I said, down on horsepower, absolutely crushing. You would have no idea that he is sub 1,000 horsepower with that run on a bigger tire than he's ever run before. Fredric Aasbo playing things safe though, understanding that he's probably had a bit of an advantage with the collision before, not an inactive chase. I think if that collision wouldn't have happened, we would have seen Freddie on the door of O'Sully all the way through. But Freddie, I mean, he's one of the greats of all time.
Unarguably.
Yeah, he's for sure.
I mean, all across the globe.
When we get into FD in specific, he has more wins, more event wins than anybody else, more event wins than James Deane. So you can't discredit Fredric Aasbo, 3-time champion and just an icon in the sport. And, he knows how to play this correctly.
Yeah,
so.
18 wins overall. It's very impressive. Just that bears repeating. What a weapon. Here we go. Fredric Aasbo, Connor O'Sullivan, and I think the contact is going to unfortunately knock out O'Sullivan, and it does. So Fredric Aasbo unanimously gets the win. Going to the judges, I assume that contact was the big deciding factor there. And we're just getting the head nod there. Yep, and they are saying yes, the contact there from O'Sullivan as fans are streaming in. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got a full house here. All right, so as we see Aasbo pull into the pits, Mario looking good, and we are seeing old Shawnee boy there. Don't know where Stefan Papadakis is, but it looks like these boys, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota Supra. At Mark V, just announcing the final edition Toyota Supra Mark V, and Ken Gushi got to drive that Yuzu. Only 860 made of the Yuzu edition Toyota GR86. Little takedown version of this comp car. Great looking livery, little throwback. Love it. Ken Gushi going against Nick Noback in that Ken Tires BMW. Look at Noback. Well, yes, more is what he's going to do. Sticked it to the door, Ken Gushi. You hear that? That was awesome. And Ken Gushi, Noback applying the pressure, brings the heat, and Ken Gushi can withstand it. He is, man, he's steaming like a dumpling inside that Toyota GR86, man. That was pretty solid there from both drivers. I mean, that was a great example again. Do your lead run. Expect that chase car right there, and that's what Nick did.
Yeah, Nick does an amazing job of mirroring throughout this run as well. He has to pull a little bit of angle to get back up, but then mirrors it through the rest of this section. A little bit of a door tap there on Ken Gushi, who takes maybe a bit more of a straight line approach to the touch and go than I would have liked to see, but the rest of the run from Gushi, very stable. What I love is that the drivers are making these cars really flowy. They've listened to the judges, they understand the assignment when it comes to this year, and that's what we're seeing is these cars are a lot more flowy, they're going wide, they're adding the angle. Kind of gone are the days of that drag race that we used to see. They've listened to the judges, they're adapting their driving style, they're adapting their cars to it, and I think it really is making for such a better show than we've ever seen.
That's, I'll say it again, this could be, and I'm venturing to say this could be the most competitive Formula Drift season we've ever had. Obviously, the progression of it, kind of like the evolutionary chart, and you kind of start as a little little fish, and then he grew up to be a caveman, and then here we are. We're a full-grown man. Let's go. Here we go. Nick Noback, Kenshiro Gushi, the OG, going against Nick Noback. And look at Noback. Woo! The Nick Noback is absolutely on a heater. Really good lead run. Ken Gushi, that Freddy Motul Toyota GR86. Noback was on rails. Yeah. That looked like a roller coaster. Disneyland's not too far from here. The happiest place on earth right now is in Nick Noback's ride, man, riding shotgun. That was a solid lead run from Noback.
Yeah, really early initiation, gets on the throttle, does a good job to push out to the first outside zone. Second outside zone, he's on throttle all the way through. You can see that smoke stream all the way for Nick Noback. Adding angle, coming out of the third, lines him up great for that touch and go, and then able to catch the car. It's such a tough thing to do out of that transition. You've really got to get the car set up well, because you can only scrub so much speed based on the setup of the car, and Nick's team's got that thing dialed. It's fast in a straight line. It scrubs speeds really well when he gets it sideways. Nick's on fire, and Ken Gushi, I mean, really, really good job there in the chase. We get to our BC Racing side by side. I knew this was coming, because I want to see, is there any hiccups, major hiccups from any of these drivers? Because Ken put on a great lead run, which did lead to that amazing chase from Nick Noback. Nick, very fast, very fluid throughout the thing, throughout that run, but could Ken keep up? And that's, that's really what the question comes down to, is as we combine the efforts of both the lead and the chase, if you would combine all those, points, if you will, how does that work out? How does that compare as we see Dmitry Brutzky there? Always a fan favorite, always, just a great stand-up gentleman, taking some time with the fans. We come down to our judge's decision, and we see Ken Gushi taking the win.
That. Ken Gushi, after a great lead run by Noback. Great elaboration there, Jacob. And look at that. As things are heating up here, two more battles left. Let's throw it down to Lorette. 2 more battles left, Lorette. How's it going down there?
Jared, it is so much fun. I am so excited to be here with Jonathan Castro, and he got out of his car and he goes, top 32 is the worst.
It's the worst. I really hate top 32. It was my battle with my good friend Jonathan Hurst. He was a great driver, very aggressive, and always popping fireworks everywhere, so you have to be ready for those nerfs to be ready and set. But great battle. We straightforward. I made a little mistake on my lead. I feel like we should do a bit better. But we got the win. The car is working really good. Guys make an amazing off-season. We make a lot of changes on the car. New turbo setup, a new engine, transmission, sequential transmission, intake. So the car is pretty much brand new all over the place, and the guys are doing great. So extremely happy to be able to kill some Kenda tires, and they are super sticky. So we got to change the whole car for this battle, for example.
Yeah. All right, and we're going to see Jonathan Castro, top 16, coming up in just a little bit. Best of luck.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jonathan Castro. Like I said, that little black tinge on his livery, I feel like that's like harnessing the darkness. Let it out your body. How does it feel? 10,000 souls. Ryan Hampshire, Tuerck, Derry, New Hampshire's own. He's in that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla. He made the jump, different tire manufacturer this year, and he says it's feeling good. Jack Shanahan, welcome to Formula Drift Pro competition. Jack Shanahan, no newcomer to drifting, but a newcomer to Formula Drift. So excited, and did not have an easy go yesterday. Had some problems. Yanked on the handbrake, caliper flies off, explodes that back right. You found that out. Thank you for the communique there, Jacob. But let's go to the competition now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Shanahan is 100%. But he's going against Tuerck, which is definitely on it. Here we go. That hot half of that squat down. Gets all the way out there. Outside zone 1. Boom, outside zone 2. Shanahan shaking that third as the Irish driver, the Formula Drift Pro rookie for this season, but no rookie to drifting. Boom, pops around that last inside clip. Well done by Tuerck and Shanahan. Welcome to Formula Drift, baby.
One of the biggest things you're going to see out of any Irish drifter or anybody who's spent time in the Irish drifting series is their ability to tuck into the pocket on transition. That is something that is just grained into them. So watch that from Jack Shanahan. Tuerck, though, just sporting as always. He is so good at this track. And now look at Jack Shanahan taking that inside line, mirroring it, and it's this transition right here where Jack times it so well and doesn't overshoot it, doesn't get into the side of Ryan Tuerck, and it's such a great way to end that run for Jack Shanahan, who really holds the time there. Tuerck does a good job, lights off the tires, really smooth through one, really smooth through two. Jack now getting in, almost setting things up, and you'll see he'll push in and waits for Tuerck's car to come across, able to dive into the pocket through that touch and go and into that inside clip. So the transitions are always going to be good coming out of European drivers, but out of Ireland specifically, they just developed that. And yeah, I mean, Tuerck looking so good, really adapting to those new Kendas.
Yep.
When you come off another tire you've driven on for so long, you have to, and the tires are so different between Nitto and Kenda. This is really cool to see how he's able to adapt and what he's able to do with it. So, big fan.
Yeah, new livery, new look, new tires, refined. Also, FYI, he's got some insight consulting for him. Chelsea Denofa, former champ. So he's got him in his corner. He's got him in his ear. Here we go. Or not in his ear. He's not spotting for him. He's giving some setup. Here we go. Shanahan. Jack, not Connor. Welcome to FD, and look at that. Tuerck dials it back. He goes to the middle of the track. Shanahan gets all the way outside zone 3, taps that wall. Ryan Tuerck transitions in that last inside clip, and Shanahan brings it around. I'll tell you what, we are going to go to a side-by-side.
Yeah,
BC Racing, go for gold. Fun fact, Connor Shanahan, when he entered Formula Drift Pro competition, who did he go against? Ryan Tuerck.
Oh, no way.
His brother, Jack Shanahan, welcome to Formula Drift, go against Ryan Tuerck.
So let's see, you can see the aggression of Jack Shanahan right away. Now there's a little bit of hopping right there as he gets on the throttle, comes off the e-brake, but holds that first outside zone really well. Tuerck now has to dive in after the second, but look at how Jack is able to hold the line, keep it consistent, has that wall tap, so went just a bit deep. Ryan Tuerck, a little bit safer than what I'd want him to be in that run. I get it though. I mean, there's not a lot of notes on Jack Shanahan when it comes to an FD track, this layout, the car. So you do have to play it a little bit safe, but going back and watching old Shanahan runs, this is quintessential Jack. He is aggressive. He will throw that car into the wall. He has zero mechanical sympathy. He is known as an incredibly aggressive driver, and we see that here. I mean, this is top 32. This dude's trying to take out every corner of that car right off the hop.
Ain't that the truth? And wow, look at this. Here we go. BC Racing side by side. It looks like Tuerck leading on the left and Shanahan leading on the right. Walk us through it.
Yeah, Shanahan, I mean, goes nowhere near that inside rumble strip that the judges are really harsh on. That was, I mean, it was actually the difference with the Ken Gushi battle. They don't want you cutting the line there at all. And Jack really opens things up to give Ryan Tuerck the advantage to be able to come into the pocket there. That may be what it ends up coming down to. Really tough battle though. Both of them had great lead runs. Both of them could have cleaned up some things in the chase, but I've chatted with the judges a few times. That initiation, they don't want those drivers anywhere near that rumble strip on the inside. Turn 9, if you go from the road course, but they want them really, really wide. So
wow.
I think we need another side-by-side.
And this is, I'll tell you, welcome Jack Shanahan, but this is not favoring Ryan Tuerck right here as they're analyzing this because, you know, on paper, Jack, new car, new track. Tuerck's been here before. We've seen success from him. We've seen some amazing driving from Tuerck, but this is not just boom, the needle's going one way.
No.
This is up in the air, and you know, we know how good a driver Shanahan is, and he's twisting the screws on Ryan Tuerck, that Rain X Toyota Corolla. And I think they're going to go one more time, back at it.
Yeah.
And that is unanimous. So, you know, it's pretty interesting there. You know, you got to think Tuerck, make it quick work, new car, or not new car, but just refine, getting it right. You know, getting some advice from a champ, Chelsea Denofa. He's over here. I'm making eye contact with him. Shanahan Spotter's over here. You got to love the energy. You guys having fun out there? I'm sure you are. Make some noise, Long Beach. Jared and Jacob Ken, stomp your feet for me, if you will. Stomp your feet. Make some noise. Oh, there we go. Little. Who's excited to find out about round 8 and where it is? Whoa, hold on. Who's excited to find out where round 8 here in Southern California is? Make some noise.
There we go.
That's more like
That's
it.
what I'm looking for.
So this was intended, I feel like I say this more often than not. This was intended to be our last run, but we still have a one more time, and that is Shanahan and Tuerck right now. Simon Olsen and Ben Hobson. Simon Olsen finished second here last year. Very different car. Let's see how he does. Back behind the wheel of that Mark V Super. He's going against Ben Hobson, who was looking on it yesterday in seating bracket. Simon Olsen goes to transition to that second outside zone. Ben Hobson has to back off. Doesn't look like Simon got all the way out to outside zone 2. Hobson, a little later on that transition, a touch and go. He does not get over. That won't impede his score too much, or won't affect, excuse me. But good driving by Simon Olsen. I think it left a little bit of window opportunity for refinement on that second outside zone under the bridge.
Yeah, I like that Simon's getting the aggression out. He's back in his chassis. He did struggle in it previously, but he's still making improvements all the way through practice. What he needs, though, is one more foot of depth pretty much across the board. He needs to forget about the bills on this car. He needs to get it into the wall, and that's the only thing that he needs to do. Everything else looks good. The line looks good. The aggression looks good. Now, Ben Hobson in the chase, he's on it, man. He really is. People forget this dude pulled a 100-point gap in his final Pro Spec year. He dominated in Pro Spec. He can do it. He has everything to do it, and we're starting to see that now. Now, he did play this a little bit safer, but same thing. You see a driver come off the wall a little bit more, you know that they're going to start picking up speed. You have to be able to adapt to that. That's what we saw from Ben. And the smarts and the wisdom that comes with time in a chassis is now starting to show when it comes to Ben Hobson. The fear's gone. He has no more fear of this car.
What do you think about that, applying that theology to Simon Olsen? Having driven the S chassis, I think he rose to the occasion, he gained some confidence, but now he goes back behind the wheel of the Super. What do you think?
I think it's going to take a little bit to come back from it. Very different engine platform. You know, we're coming from a supercharged
different power
V8.
band,
Everything
build,
is different about
response.
it. But he does drive basically the sister car of this back in Norway, so he can put in the time. They built those cars side by side. So.
All right. Ben Hobson now has got the clean air. Beautiful looking Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5FD. He's on no tires. He was banging walls yesterday, and he does it again. The disc go round and round. Simon Olsen gets disrupted. Simon Olsen gets thrown off by Ben Hobson into that first outside zone. Simon, Kenda tires, that Toyota Supra Mark V. He's running his own team this year. And there is Hobson. He backed that back left corner in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard it. Dumps like a truck. What?
Yeah.
Hobson, move your butt. What?
So the initiation here is great. I love how much of the course he uses, how much he slings that car in. Gets nice and wide, just touches the rumble strip a little bit, but does go pretty hard in the first outside zone. And that does mean that Simon's got to make a pretty good correction and not collide in with them. And then as we get through the rest of this zone, I mean, Simon's kind of just playing catch up after that. Now, I think when we look at the next replay, we really have to understand, did that contact with the wall disrupt what Simon was able to do? Simon's lead wasn't amazing, but he did do a decent enough job. And you can see from Ben there, left foot braking, and that left foot might have even been what saved him from really cranking into the wall. And then Simon just has to make a big correction there and isn't really able to regain the line that he needs to get back into the chase, and kind of just panic drives through the rest of it. So is it a cause and effect thing? Simon's on a pretty tight line there, but oh man, this is tough. This is really, really tough.
How much of that wall tap does that affect Simon? Because looking at that, I don't know if Simon was in the right spot. He kind of didn't have the most deepest angle.
Yeah.
And I think blaringly obvious, Ben went hard into it, but it didn't really disrupt the car too much. And you know, by comparison, bumper hang, the Mustang is a long pier compared to.
Well, I mean, you can see it right there.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got half of a car hanging off the backside of that Mustang.
At the end of the day, did Ben Hobson provide a lead that was easily chaseable by Simon Olsen? In my mind, not really. When you go into the wall like that, how do you chase that? You can't. Ben was pretty tight on the rumble strip as they came through there. Simon was as well. I don't think either of them did a great job in the lead, to be perfectly honest. So I think we need to look at the chase at that point. But yeah, it's really, really tough. So we're showing the replay here again. Simon initiates just at the one. Now Simon's on a really tight line already. Ben pushes out wide. Simon's still on that tight line. It's really hard to say.
I mean, Simon was a little late to launch, so again, we're just having the conversation.
Right.
The facts are the facts. You know, Simon kind of rolled into it, so, you know, it's basically, you know, we saw Ben going. Watch it again. Here goes, no, this is Simon leading, sorry.
Yeah.
This is Simon leading. Ben's in the pocket, essentially. He's risking it, and he tucks in.
Yeah.
By comparison with Ben out front, Ben goes in. Yes, he went deep in that wall. Did it adjust the attitude of the car? Maybe a little bit, but not to the degree like if Tuerck or we saw Daigo yesterday. And also, where was Simon once he hit that wall and did an effect, cause and reaction, or cause and effect as opposed to perceived?
Yeah, that's the big point that we're kind of chatting about up here right now is like, was there an actual effect on Simon or is it just a perceived? And the difference between that is was Simon on the correct line before that happened? And then did Simon have to change something in order to not make contact? And that's really where I feel like the judging decision comes down to.
Slide him right for Ben Hobson, gets the victory. And there we go, Hobson gets the victory. Hey, Reese, we saw that contact. Hobson goes in, but before I even say anything, just go to you, Reese.
Yeah, so we need to really kind of explain this here. You can see Ben Hobson goes into outside zone 1. There is contact on the wall, and that does disrupt Simon. So at that point, we're definitely given like the advantage at that moment, Simon, because it's like, okay, your the lead line disrupted the chase, and we understand that. That incident happens. They keep on going. As we come around going into the touch and go, there's an independent incident where you see Simon straighten up. He completely settles the car at that point, and that's what was the defining moment, and went over to Ben to get the win at that point.
I like it. Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, so we can see here, you can see at this point, yeah, Ben hits the wall. This is definitely affecting the chase driver. He's still in drift. He's still trying to go. Yes, it's low angle, but he's still in drift. It continues going. That incident has happened now. We're going into the touch and go, and then we can see here, that is the unsettling that we're having an issue with here, and that's why Ben gets the win.
So, but I'm playing devil's advocate here for the sake of conversation. We got a moment here. It's hard to re-drift and reinitiate. So you're asking, you know, it's later in the game.
I will say though, he did get back into drift in outside zone 3, and then more or less lost it going into the touch and go. And I think that's what Reese.
You have to make sure you manage your momentum, and that momentum, the judges deemed it as you lost the momentum, you settled your car, you're out of drift, you're out, and Ben gets the win.
Love it, love it. And again, should have been able to be in drift by then.
Yeah, by the end of outside zone 3, he should be where he needs to be, and then just wasn't. And yeah, so it was one of those look over here, but actually the problem was on the other side of the track.
Right, and there's a Pinnacle Series, man. You got to adapt, and that's really what it's all about. So here we go, our final battle, the one more time battle between Jack Shanahan and Ryan Tuerck. Jack slide into the DMs or FDMs in competition. Ryan Tuerck out front, that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla. Kendall tires, outside zone. Evades the wall, goes in under the bridge, outside zone 2, goes in outside zone 3, brings it in. Jack Shanahan, you see him diving on in. Good fluidity from both the drivers. Shanahan, good composure. Doesn't do anything really like violent. Either to the side of Ryan Tuerck's car, as well as Ryan, he did not get involved with the wall. Keep it off the wall.
Yeah.
Don't leave anything to question.
Both of them did what they needed to do. They didn't get in their head about it. They just went and drove the track. I mean, Jack, very aggressive off that initiation, has to cut the first outside zone to get back in because of how tight he was through that section, but then does a fairly good job here in the chase. Would like him a little bit closer. As I talked about, you know, that European transition shows its face again at the touch and go. Tuerck out front, stable. Pretty much a direct carbon copy of what we saw previously. Would like to see him hold that first out to the first outside zone longer, not have to cut the corner at the rumble strip. Keep that, you know, keep the pocket open. We won't go with door, we'll go with pocket. Keep the pocket open, make sure they're able to chase through it. But the rest of the run looks almost identical. Now, what I will say, Jack, in the history of him doing things, you know, looking back in the past, on his lead of a one more time, often goes pretty nuts. I'm not trying to, like, you know, predict anything, but
You're anticipating something a little Shanahan.
Yeah, I'm anticipating a pretty nuts run here. I do expect him to go really wide on initiation, go nowhere near that inside clip and go out to the wall to 1, and then just hammer it going into the second.
So would you say he goes Shanahan?
Ooh, yeah, Shanahan wild.
He goes Shanahan.
Yeah.
On his lead run. Anticipation here. So here we go. The Shanahan camp. His brother, obviously Connor, his sophomore season in Formula Drift. Here stateside, Jack out front. Jack in that 59 BMW. Here comes Ryan Tuerck in the chase position, goes out to it. Very comparable to what Ryan Tuerck did. Jack really close to that second outside zone, goes into 3. Ryan Tuerck, good proximity, doesn't tuck into the pocket as we were talking about earlier. The 4-on-1 on the roof, and the 4-on-1 on what the verdict is.
Man.
Okay.
How much time we got?
You know, I'm not calling you out. Did not go full Shanahan.
No,
that was composure, and yeah, that was right there.
That shows. I mean, that shows a lot of growth as well. That he knows he can't go insane and make a massive mistake here. Consistency is what's going to take down Ryan Tuerck. But I mean, Jack Shanahan filling all the zones. There's really no major critique here in the lead, and Tuerck, no major critique in the chase. Like, we're going to go side by side again. We need to see this again. I mean, there's a chance we're going to see this battle go a few times. And honestly, I'm happy that I was wrong. I'm happy that Jack Shanahan has learned that he needs to keep things consistent and not just absolutely demo the car. Now, Jack, in the chase on the left-hand side of the screen, that was the only major mistake I saw from him. It'd take him a little bit to get back into it. But you could, I mean, in the lead, both these cars are almost identical. Really, it might come down to that one mistake that Jack made on initiation in the chase. That's the only thing I could see outside zone 1 for Ryan. I mean, the zones are pretty identical. That is literally the only thing I can think of that might be a difference between the two. But it may still go one more time again. I really don't know at this point. But, you know, Jack Shanahan, welcome to FD. Welcome to Pro. I want to speak for the whole community and say we're just super happy to have you.
Really a fun dude. Love his stance. He's very, you know, I have some expectations from the Shanahan camp.
Yeah.
His mom, dad, like I guess they're electric, just like the boys. But had some time with him in Australia, and I liked his composure. You see him. Here we go. The BC Racing side by side. Our final battle of our top 32.
Yeah, I mean, so where Jack was overly aggressive on initiation, Ryan was actually a little bit more hesitant on initiation. That's the only thing that I can see. The chases, other than that, are almost identical. The lead runs, almost identical. Yeah, Tuerck's got a little bit more proximity through the majority of it, but I'll say that Shanahan might have had a better job mirroring the angle, so both of them had some things they need to make up on initiation. It's so tough. This is like a finals level battle we're seeing in top 32. This is one of the most competitive top 32s we've ever seen.
But it is, and that's why I say that. But also, I think it was smart. It wasn't, again, you anticipated Shanahan going full ham sandwich. I think he kind of dialed it back.
It's good.
And that's composure, that's growth, as you say. That's kind of that veteran move. But what do you guys think? Where are my Ryan Tuerck fans at? Make some noise.
That's pretty good.
Where are my Irish fans for Jack Shanahan? Make some noise. Again, he's a rookie. You know, a lot of these fans have not, you know, they don't know Jack. They might know Connor. I guess they don't know Jack. Great figure of speed. Ryan Tuerck gets one more time.
One more time.
One more time. So they are going at it again. Justifiable?
Yeah,
Question mark?
no, 100% justifiable. This is going to be who flinches first at this point, who makes a mistake first, because they're on it. But wow.
Hey, real quick, would love to talk. Sorry to cut you off there, Robbie. I believe you went with Ryan Tuerck. Robbie, was it Robbie? Okay, Robbie, you went with Ryan Tuerck. What was your justification? The other judges, Brian and Reese, went with one more time.
Yeah, so the total proximity from the start to the beginning, I pretty much saw the lead as the same, and there's a little bit more proximity by Tuerck. But I was talking to the other judges as well. We were talking about this whole weekend at the drivers' meeting. We did talk about not going over that rumble strip, and that rumble strip, if you're away from the rumble strip, you'll give the chase car. You'll give a chase car that's a little bit of space to be able to stick to the lead car in the chase position, and that'll put you in a good position from outside zone 1 to 2. But some of these drivers aren't doing it in the lead position, so I think the other two judges criticized that a little bit more, and they know that overall, there was a little bit more proximity, but it was enough to do it one more time.
Thank you, Robbie, and thank you our other judges. As there we see Robin Ishida, Brian Eggert, Reese Marin, as we look again our BC Racing Go for Gold side by side.
Yeah, expect that rumble strip we see after initiation to really be the difference maker a lot this weekend. And that points back to what they talked about of setting up the chase car for a good chase. If you go nice and wide through that section, you don't cut that corner, you really do set up the chase car to do well. So, yeah, I mean, that's where the difference is going to be. And we can take a couple minutes here while the drivers change over and have a chat with Lorette.
One more times out of the gate. Ben Hobson down to Lorette Nickel.
So Ben Hobson is stepping into the top 16 for the first time in his FD career, and we couldn't be happier for you. And the mental game has changed. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. I came into this round just ready to rock. This car has been dialed. We have become one with each other. We got so much test laps, the 2 test days that we had in this car preseason. And I was just able to adapt and figure out this car being an extension of my body like it should be. So figuring out where the front end is, figuring out where the rear end is, and figuring out what it does in between. And it's a recipe for success with these cars. And I've just been having an absolute blast out here driving Long Beach. We're drifting the streets of Long Beach. As James Deane said, this is the Monaco of drifting. I mean, we're here. This is the one to be at. This is round 1, and I mean, we did such good yesterday in the seating bracket, came out today in practice, and same mindset. Let's go have fun and turn some good laps and get some good data and, get prepared for battle. So we went into top 16, or I'm sorry, top 32. We're going into top 16. Woo! We went into top 32 against Simon Olsen, a good buddy of mine, used to be a teammate when we both drove for the OD together. And it's the first time we've ever got to battle each other, and it was fun. So it's always fun battling familiar faces. And so unfortunately, unfortunately for him, fortunately for me, we're on to the next. But, it's always great having your friends and seeing your friends out here and actually growing with them from year to year. And without this team and my family, my fiance, my dad, I mean, my mom, they just support me so freaking much. I don't think I'd be anywhere near where I am today with my confidence level.
Love it for you, Ben. Great big changes for 2025.
Thank you so much, Lorette. There it is. Grab a can and grab a good time. Guess what? Ben Hobson giving everybody the flowers. We're going to give you some more flowers because you're going to take it from Tuerck. We'll be right back with our final battle. Not one, but two. One more time between Tuerck and Shanahan. Take it from Tuerck.
We're kicking off the 2025 season, and we're doing a new Take It From Tuerck. Preparation is key. We've had a lot of changes this offseason with new tires, Kenda coming on board, and KW and ST suspensions also coming on board. So having the proper test time coming into the season is key, where we had 2 test sessions this year, and a lot of great preparation happened back at Papadakis Racing to get us ready for this weekend. Formula Drift Long Beach is a track that you do not want to mess around with. It's very dangerous, and you really want to be on point as soon as you get here. So preparation, testing, and knowing the changes that you've made to your car and being comfortable on track are keys to success. So take it from Tuerck. Keep prepared.
Protect your phone with QuadLock, the world's best phone mounts. Designed and tested to make every day and every adventure better. When you choose QuadLock, you're choosing the most secure and reliable products available. QuadLock, every day, every adventure.
to turn your passion into a career? At the College of Applied Technologies at the University of Northwestern Ohio, we offer exciting programs that put you on the path to success. From high-performance motorsports to hybrid electric vehicles, agricultural equipment to robotics and automation, we've got it all. With 70% hands-on education, small classes, and practical real-world experience, you'll gain the skills needed for a profitable and successful career in the skilled trades. Find out more at unoh.edu.
Looking for what comes next? For that moment when everything finally...
1 minute!
Whichever path you choose, it starts here.
These are my race treads for going the distance.
Racetreads.com. Tires for every adventure.
Welcome back. Welcome back as we are getting ready for our final battle. If you haven't already, protect your phone. Keep your devices safe and secure with the world's leading high-performance phone and action camera mounting solutions. Visit the Quad Lock box in the vendor midway for 20% off your perfect quad lock setup for every day, every adventure. There it is, Quad Lock, just behind the bleachers. Protect your device, whether you're navigating to the next race or capturing content. Quad Lock's roll cage, suction, and dash mounting solutions keep your devices secure on and off the track. Visit the Quad Lock box in the vendor midway, again, for 20% off.
Might have to pick one of those up soon, yeah. New phone case.
Go.
I think I'm in the mood for a new phone case.
There you go. Stay protected, brother. Practice safe texting.
Yes.
Protect your device.
Protect your device.
Know your place. Protect your face.
Not even flinching.
Here we go. Ryan Tuerck, Shanahan. Not once, not twice. This is it. Our third battle between these gentlemen. We're only in the 32. Ryan Tuerck edition. Oh, back bumper, that Toyota GR Corolla. 1, 2. Shanahan not flinching at all. That third outside zone. Now bringing into that final inside clip. Shanahan attacks. There he goes. There he goes. Little Shanahan sandwich. Well done by Shanahan. Tuerck out front. He tapped that wall. And again, talk about bumper hang. The Mustang compared to that Corolla, that is very drastic.
Yeah, it's almost another carbon copy again, although I feel like Ryan Tuerck getting just a little bit more aggressive, pushing out to the walls a little bit more. And the nice thing is that Jack Shanahan on this one did not flub on that initiation. He stayed in it, kind of took notes, realized what Tuerck's going to do, adapted to it, and made the correction that we needed to see him make in order to do well through that section. So really good there. Once again, judges are looking to make sure that the drivers are not going on that rumble strip, that red and white section that we're seeing on initiation. They really want them far back from that because that allows the chase driver to get into the pocket, allows them to get up right next to them. So expect that to be a talking point for the rest of it. If you have confusion about previous battles, there's a good chance that it came down to that. Feel free, once this is done, rewind, take a look again, and see if that lead driver cut that driver off on initiation, because that is kind of the big talking point of today. You know, rumble strips at initiation.
Line where you're at. Also, it disrupts the car. So that's the big indicator. If you hit those rumble strips, your car ain't going to be happy.
Yeah, and if you're chasing, you're going to be on the same path, if not in a more dangerous zone by being inside. So if the lead driver's touching the rumble strips, there's a good chance the chase is all the way over them. So gotta go wide there.
There's Ryan Tuerck's crew looking on, looking regal. They're watching the live stream. The hot pits are over on Shoreline. Shoreline, for reference, is basically just behind the judges' stand. It's an actual public road that both next weekend IndyCar utilizes their pits for IndyCar and multiple different sanction bodies, including us, Friday and Saturday night. Also, tomorrow, Peterson Automotive Museum, Ken Block, KB Day, all weekend. So tomorrow, Peterson Automotive Museum, come out, Jacob, maybe see you there, we'll see. Here we go, Jack Shanahan out front, Ryan Tuerck in the chase position. Look at Shanahan swinging. Tuerck, good composure, Shanahan comes into the first outside zone. Ryan Tuerck, he shallows up quite a bit there now into outside zone 3. Shannon gets all the way out there. Ryan Tuerck in the hot pocket. Does not get burned. He brings it around, tightens up into that last inside clip. Bends that back left to the back right of Shanahan. I mean, here we are. These guys, again, they're at that 95 percentile of what they want to do to their car and what their cars can. I think they're at 85% of what the cars can do, but they don't want to push too hard.
Yeah, and it's crazy how they're just making these adjustments every single run, getting just a little bit better with every run, a little more angle, better line, holding position better. Tuerck right there throughout the chase. I mean, has to back out for that transition, does a good job, I would say. That transition in particular, Jack did a better job on, but the leads are pretty much comparable. Ryan Tuerck through outside 1 and outside zone 2 looks really, really good in the chase, but Jack's opening the door throughout the whole thing. Already seeing signs for a side-by-side. I'm not shocked by this. These are two of the best drivers in the game right now that we're getting to see go head-to-head in top 32. And I mean, we're here for a minute, but I'm down to keep seeing them battle, man. This is great driving.
Down to Clown. Look at that, Jack outside of the car. Tuerck chilling. Yeah. You like Diggs? Here we go. What's up, Dig?
So let's see this first line. Both are pretty comparable. Neither one going over the rumble strips. Looks like Jack was slightly closer through that section. Tuerck is closer through this section, but Jack's mirroring a little bit better, and then they swap where Jack falls back. Tuerck is in closer and mirroring better. Man, I don't know. I don't know.
This is where, you know, all of the history, you know, Robbie, former FD driver, Brian Egger, I mean, he's running Drift Appalachia events with Reese. Reese, you know, breaks down the runs, you know, I mean, no, what are you looking at me like that?
I mean, Reese,
you know,
the championship
Reese
spotter.
looks back, I mean, championship spotter.
Yeah.
Brian Egger, his knowledge of seeing drifting, I mean, multiple events in a year. Robin Ishida bouncing over to New Zealand, Japan, you know, hung up the FD Japan role, but here he is in the States, former driver. A lot of knowledge. This is where they lean into what they've seen before, and, you know, they've seen a lot of runs. We've seen a lot of runs, but they analyze things to the minutia that sometimes the armchair expert does not see, and that's where I'm really proud to uphold their verdicts.
Yes.
And some people might not agree with it. Either their loyalty falls in a different camp, or they might not see something that you see. So Reese, Brian, Vernon, Robbie, all of them. Here we go. Slide him left for Tuerck or right for Shannon. After 2-3 battles, Ryan Tuerck gets the win. Want to talk to one of the judges. They're still talking right now, but would love for you to elaborate. Not once, not two, but 3 times. There's Shanahan. Welcome to FD. You're on the FD Club, Shanahan. Hold your head high. Reese Marin, going to you again. Ryan Tuerck gets the win, advances on 16 after 1-2, and now a third battle.
Yeah, this was a very, very intense battle here, and yeah, we were just speaking. I was just speaking to the rest of the judges, and I'll give you a little bit on my perspective here. I think Tuerck had just a little bit better proximity when it came to certain points, just a little bit. The deciding factor for me was in the lead that were very pretty similar. And outside zone 3, I feel like Tuerck had a bit more angle, staying sideways and staying in there in order to do that. So that in that place, I ended up giving the win to Tuerck because of that.
Yeah, just collectively, great effort by Shanahan. Good drive by Tuerck, but we know we're capable of more, but you can't win in 32.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it was definitely intense. Hats off to Jack. That was insane. Yeah,
good driving. Like Jacob said, this is a final battle here.
Yeah, no, that I felt like that was it. You know?
All right, well, guess what? Thank you so much, Reese, Brian, Robbie. We'll have a halftime break, but before that, we throw it down to a couple New Hampshire kids down there. We got Ryan Tuerck and Lorette Nickel. Lorette, how you doing, hon?
Well, I heard you guys say, I think before the first one more time, that it was like a finals battle between you and Jack. I heard you guys talking about that. Ryan, I mean, what a way to start off Long Beach.
Yeah, I mean, first off, for the people in the U.S. that don't know Jack Shanahan, he's Connor's older brother, and he's been driving a long time. He's a phenomenal top-level pro over in Europe and all over the world. He's a champion as well. So I knew that coming into this top 32, I was like, God damn, this is going to be a battle. Obviously, they got their car working really well, and we both put it all out there, all out there.
Were you making minimal adjustments out there?
Yeah, the first 2 battles, no. It was just like try to clean up like we're just nitpicking. Clean up maybe a half a foot here, a foot there. I knew on our first one more time, that on my chase, I really had to lay in there really heavily. And I got the transition from 1 to 2 really strong, so that helped my case on that one. And then, honestly, my chase wasn't as good on the last one, but I had a little bit better of a lead. And I did what the judges wanted me to do, is stay off the rumble strip on the first turn a little bit, which is what they nitpicked me on the first one more time. So we did that, and I guess it went in my favor. So I'm like, Jesus. Unreal.
Absolutely.
Unreal battle.
Yeah, and we know that you are a fully committed driver. Are you finding it maybe a little challenging to back it down to do exactly what the judges want you to do?
No, we just didn't know we should have done that, so we just needed to change our line. That's it. So we'll hopefully be doing that the rest of the day.
Okay. See you in top 16.
Thank you.
It's wrapping it out. Who's that? Who's that hugging him? Oh, yeah. Media Cats. Congratulations. Tuerck gets the win. 16 set, Jacob. Here we are. We have a halftime break. We're going to grab some food, high fives and handshakes. Here's a look at our 16. Look at this. Deane versus Beechum. Connor Shanahan versus Dylan Hughes. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Hero Minowa, 15 years old, against a 3-time champ and vet. LZ versus Stuke. Odie versus Castro. Man, those guys got something to prove. Field and Sorenson. Heater. Aasbo and Gushi, Toyota battle. Another Toyota doing battle against the Ford, Ben Hobson. Look at that. Deane and Hobson on other side. Dude, great day.
So good.
I'm exhaling with enthusiasm. Like, whew, we got a long way to go, and it's going to be one heck of a show. Jacob, anything to add before we come back? Or
nah, man, I might just sit here and wait until it starts up again. I don't think I'm going anywhere.
All right. Well, you stay here. I'm going to go party.
Can you bring me lunch?
I'll bring you lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. All joking aside, thank you so much. This is round 1 of 8 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. It begins on the streets of Long Beach and also announced later on during our United States Air Force opening ceremonies. We have our driver introduction, our Formula Drift Hall of Fame induction, as well as round 8, the final round of the Formula Drift 2025 Championship will be announced in our opening ceremonies. The question is, are you ready? Because I know I am. Without further ado, we will announce it in our opening ceremonies when we come back. Tune in later, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the round of 16 United States Air Force opening ceremonies. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Lorette. Thank you to the drivers. Thank you to the fans. We'll be back here. Ryan Sage, co-founder, president of Formula Drift, with the opening ceremonies as well. I'm so excited. Man, the hair standing up on my arms, man. I'm excited. I'm going to go party. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere in just a little bit. Look at this. It's a sold-out crowd. Welcome to the streets of Long Beach. Make some noise for the Drift Nation. This is a year to watch. Toyota, the most talented drifters in the world.
He's exploding towards his first outside zone.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Yo, Ryan Tuerck wants it. It could be anybody that could win here in Long Beach. Explode that back bumper. Send it. Here we go. Laser vision on the prize. Your winner, James the Machine Deane.
I have no words for how much this means to me.
That's a hard act to follow. Wow.
モータースポーツで得た高度な技術、すべてのレイズホイール、一本に込める魂は永遠に変わらない。ビヨンド・ザ・レボリューション。ザ・コンセプト・イズ・レーシング。
Made in Japan. Breed.
New Fast Orange Body Wash was formulated specifically with mechanics in mind from the #1 brand in heavy-duty hand cleaning. You never know what you're getting into when you're working in the shop. The new body wash takes care of everything from my dirty hands, arms, and face to simply make me feel clean all over. Tiny wax beads help get the toughest dirt out, while also taking care of the strongest automotive odors like fuel, oil, and exhaust too. It's ideal for those areas of skin that are exposed to grease and grime during the day, but gentle enough to use all over your body. Find new Fast Orange Body Wash at O'Reilly Auto Parts.